this event on my own camera shooting, and to be in front of the camera this time around, it feels great. This track is home for me. I have a track championship here, and I'm feeling great to be back on the mic all weekend with you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I know me and Zane are going to be in the booth as well as we continue to our last little preps, Haley. But again, what have you thought of the weekend so far? Right, last year was one of the times that we see these shootout layouts. It's very new for a lot of people, different. Right, this year is the first iteration as well of the super heats. We're going to see that later on today, but again, the shootouts, that's going to be great. I know myself and yourself are going to be down on pit lane as well, watching all that stuff kind of go on and unfold. But home for a lot of people, and to me, the interesting thing about a track like this is a place where a lot of people have a lot of track time, right? You have a lot of local, a huge club scene here. If I must say, the biggest club scene, I think, in the entire country here at Trackhouse Motorplex. North Carolina is the hotbed for racing. You talk about NASCAR country. We had Kyle Larson out here yesterday, watching some of the racing as well with Roto Rooter and Cade Wolf in that camp. But it's great. The club scene here is massive, and that's where you're going to see, I think, a lot of drivers, a lot of new names, and a lot of different people work their way up to the front. And we're going to see, I think, some really cool stories as well this weekend, right? I look back to 2023, Dalton Haynes. What a story for him and his camp just growing, right, with the team that they just started with his brother Roman, who's back in the seat this weekend after I think his last race was in 2022 at this very event. So it's cool to see, I think, a variety of different people with the big club scene as well. We're gonna see a lot of different names as well work their way up to the top of the timing boards.
Yeah, speaking of the club scene, and as you said, Roman and Dalton, they've got their own show this weekend running on Hayden's Motorsports. We're going to see both of the brothers back in the seat. We saw Roman dip out a little bit early last time he ran, but he's back this weekend. Hopefully we'll get to see him in the final. But this club scene, specifically this track, I'm biased because this is home for me, but I would totally agree that this is the strongest field that you're going to see in the country. And specifically in the last club race that was here just a couple of weeks ago, we saw a large chunk of the field of drivers that you're going to see on your screen today come out and put on some strong performances and get some practice in.
Yeah, not only that, we saw a lot of teams out here as well last weekend testing. The Velocity Racing team was out here last weekend. Caden McQueen, ZCD were just trying to develop their X30 package. But, I mean, that being said, we're going to see a whole lot, and you guys are going to get some great coverage this weekend. We're excited to bring it to you all. We'll go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with some more.
Hey guys, it's Lucas Nogueira here, and today we're going to talk about some cool features that Race Studio 3 has that people normally don't know about it. And the first thing is how to check the weather between two sessions on Race Studio 3, okay? So here, I got a comparison with Orlando on the Rotax, and if you look on the bottom left, I have the weather showing my ambient temperature, pressure, humidity, and even the wind direction and wind speed. And then I have this from 1 week of the Rotax Winter Trophy, and then the second week was a bit hotter. So we kind of know how the carburation will change when the weather changes. And to be able to get this, all you gotta do is when you are on Race Studio 3, you come up here and you're logging into your account. You gotta create an account on the AIM website and just log in. If you log in and have internet on, it will pull the weather from the previous year of sessions that you have. All right, so we got a second nice feature that a lot of people don't know about, which is the track map coming from Google on the background. So if you just connect your computer to the internet, you can come up here and click on this Google Earth icon, and it will pull the background from the Google Earth into your GPS data. So normally it's very well aligned, and you can see if the driver is hitting the apex, changing his line. But if it's not aligned, you can change which server you are using. So right here we are in Quaker City. It's a brand new track. If I change from Google to Bing, you'll see that I don't even have a track there because it's a brand new track and Bing hasn't updated. So if yours is not aligned, all you gotta do is change to a different server here. I've been using Google so far and it works pretty well.
You know, I'm really starting to like this go-karting thing.
Yeah, me too. Oh my gosh, can I show you this cute dress I just got?
Yes, of course. Oh my goodness, it's so cute.
I just love shopping.
I love shopping too.
Oh my god.
Wait, did you guys say you like shopping?
Of course.
Well, dude, I have the perfect place to do that at. ShopPayCara.com. At ShopPayCara.com, you can get free shipping on orders $200 or more. You can get anything you want, like MXC rims, gloves, rib vests, shoes, anything that you need, all at ShopPayCara.com.
Who is he talking to?
No idea.
But we're gonna have to check it out. Sounds like a great deal.
Sure does.
Now, Donaldson is standing by with Mateo Pappas on the fence line. Haley?
Mateo, we're watching some KA Junior racing. Mateo, tell me about kind of what you're looking at whenever you're watching these early sessions before it's your turn.
I look to see how the track is, how the cars keep on evolving every lap, and just try to learn what I'm going to do for my session.
How do you feel like practice went for you yesterday? This is a home track for you. Are you feeling comfortable?
Yeah, I feel really good. I feel pretty comfortable, pretty confident, and just going to try to put myself in the best position I can for this happy hour.
Thank you, Mateo.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
Right, different layouts this weekend. Yesterday in the morning, they practiced on a completely different layout that they hadn't done. For the local guys, right, they would have done it a little bit yesterday, but even then, it's something different when you look at today. And at the end of the day yesterday, they went back to the normal national layout. So it's something different, right, to kind of look out for here this weekend. Multiple practice sessions, adjusting. The different weather is also another big thing here, Haley. When you look at it, right, it was very hot, if you will, at the start of the day. Weather cooled down towards the end of the day yesterday with the sun going down and everything just changing a bit. But that'll be always enticing thing to kind of look forward as well. And I see you're actually standing by with Caden McQueen. Haley, what do you got?
Yeah, Caden, this is a track you've been at just, I believe, once before for USPKS. You don't have that many laps here in comparison to some of our home track guys. How are you feeling coming into the day?
We've actually been really competitive. We've been fast enough. So, yeah, going into today feeling confident, and hopefully we can find a little bit more and be at the front.
We've seen you be quick pretty much all season, and I believe after watching practice times yesterday, it's continuing into this weekend. How are you feeling about the shootouts? Are you excited?
Yeah, it should be good. I've heard a lot about this event as a whole, so yeah, we'll see what it brings.
And for a shootout race, do you have any kind of like mental preparation that you're doing before you go into it at all?
For me, just go into it empty-headed and do the best job I can while I'm there.
And thinking about going into qualifying and our Heat 1 today, does the shootout at all impact about your thoughts for the weekend overall? Are you trying to get into that, or would you rather focus on the final?
Well, you know, I want to be in the shootout. I think, you know, just play it safe and make sure that we're in a good position to make sure we can make the shootout, really.
Thank you, Caden. Let's walk around a little bit more, see if we can find anyone else with their helmet off. It looks a bit like everyone's pretty much getting ready to go, but let's talk to Enzo Vidmontien. We spoke earlier today, and it seems as though you have a little bit of news about your X30 driving this weekend.
Yeah, I'm officially not racing X30 this week, so just K.
Are you bummed at all about it, or are you ready to just put forward?
Win business as usual, and I think great response out of him on your shootout questions, right? Business as usual for him, but to hear, you know, the confidence that he's going to bring into that, and as well finding a little bit on last weekend as well is going to be huge. Another commercial break from our side, and we'll be right back and continue to talk to drivers. Haley, thank you.
Let's go race.
Come on, man.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and zero sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
This is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself, quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product if you spend $200 or more. Do yourself a favor. Go to accelerationkarting.com and make sure that you are never left stuck on the pre-grid with Henry. Be smart and don't be like Henry.
Welcome back from the commercial break. Looks like we got a little electrical issue here for Max Saga. And they're getting an external starter, trying to get that started up. So yeah, just an electrical issue there. Looks like maybe some of the wiring wasn't connected properly to the battery that is on the left-hand side of the cart. Able to get that external starter. You don't need the battery when you do have the external starter, so they were able to get fired up. But I'm interested to hear from some of the drivers as well, right? We've seen a lot of these drivers do a good number of events in years past. A lot of drivers, you know, that we don't see very often, if you will, Haley, on the KE side of things, are now dipping into this class here this year. So again, a variety of drivers, if you will, here this weekend, right? And we'll see if I'm gonna go out and try and catch up with some of them, Haley.
Yeah, of course, Caleb. And I'd love to talk to some more drivers. We got to speak with Caden McQueen and Enzo, and it looks like Caleb has gotten Frankie Mossman.
Thank you, Haley. Standing by here with Frankie Mossman, Sawyer Chambers as well. For you, this is, again, a return to the IAME Grands. You were close last year in Pro X30. First of all, right, how does it feel to be back? Different layout. The shootouts are tonight on the K side of things, double duty for you as well.
Yeah, honestly, I think we were even a little bit closer in K, you know, so I have a really strong feeling about this. I have to thank O&E, you know, they've given me a great motor package the last few years that we've come over here. We got pull here last year, and so I'm hoping today that we do that once again and then get into the shootout and hopefully no rain this time.
There you go, Sawyer. I'll ask you as well, Roussel. I called you Chambers. My apologies. Down from the south, right, with our TSRS folks. Is this your first time at Grands, if I'm not mistaken?
First time here, yeah. First time at Grands.
How does it feel being at this event, right? I'm pretty sure you've watched it, right? Shootouts in the past. How does it feel being a part of this event?
I've watched all the shootouts. It's been my dream to like make the shootout. That's the whole reason I wanted to come and race here. I just care about getting to the shootout. I don't care about Sunday. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to get to the shootout because that seems like the funniest thing to do, other than go and race Vegas.
Yeah, of course. And how's it been going for you, right? First couple of sessions here at Trackhouse.
First couple sessions, I was about a second off, but then at the last one, I picked up a lot of speed, and I got up to like 2/10 off. Like overall, which is pretty good, but it's so tight that 2/10 is still 20th.
Yeah, there you go. That very good point. Thank you, Sawyer, and good luck this weekend.
Yeah, thank you.
There you guys have it from Sawyer Roussel. My apologies on the name there. We'll go back and catch with some other drivers here as well. I see Austin Garrison. We don't see him very often on the KA side of things, and we'll talk to him here really quickly. You've been very vocal, right, in the press conferences. You actually just had your birthday a couple weeks ago. How old are you now, Austin?
39.
Well, how's it doing, right? Old age now, if you will, double duty for you, KA and X30. I see Tim Lobo on the wrenches for you as well this weekend.
Yeah, no, my body's definitely feeling it. Obviously, everybody knows I don't wear a rib protector, so even from hopping into X30 to KA, it's only like a 15-minute break because we're in the A group, that's the second KA group, and then we go back in and then right back out. Just got a sip of water and go. My body's feeling it this morning. Didn't take any Advil. I just drank a bunch of water. Gonna work through it and tough it out. And yep, I got Tim Lobo on the spanners. He worked for me a couple years ago at the Supernats, and I worked for him out at TSRS, so it's a pretty good combo we have.
Yeah, and as well, it's almost a different feel in the paddock, right? When you get to a one-off event like this, how are you feeling? How are you, excited to be back at the IAME Grands this year?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Last year I didn't go intend to it. I had something else going on, but I'm back. I love this race. So a lot of money on the line. I like money, so we're going to be driving pretty hard.
I like money too, so hopefully you can win some this weekend, Austin.
For sure.
There you guys have from Austin. Always great to chat with our now SCUSA Pro Tour champion on the X30 side of things. He's going to be doing double duty. Wasn't here last year. I believe Frankie Mossman was the driver that took that seat last year, but he's back this year. It's exciting to see Austin Garrison on a K. Last I think I saw him race K, and maybe his last time as well, IKF Grand Nationals 2023, if I'm not mistaken. I think that might have been the last time I saw him race on a KA, and that's my inner Emery Lida coming out of me there a little bit as well, Haley. But nonetheless, I mean, huge different variety of fields, right? You have our pro drivers with our KA senior drivers as well. And I'm excited to talk about some of the newer drivers that we are seeing, here this weekend. We have a lot of local contingent here. One of the drivers specifically, we're actually chasing him down, and he's working his way to the back of the grid here. Christopher McKeithen. Many of you guys have seen him probably on our CKNA coverage throughout the years. CKNA Grand National Champion back in 2023. Christopher, local to North Carolina. How are you feeling here this weekend racing two-cycle?
I'm having fun. Definitely a learning curve, and I don't have that much experience yet, but thanks to BJR, I'm given the opportunity to go out there and turn some laps.
What's the biggest thing, right? Adjusting from a four-cycle over to the two-cycle with, again, the same number of drivers out here this weekend.
I mean, it's a totally different driving style, and everything happens much quicker, but yeah, I feel like I've been given a good package, and hopefully we'll find some speed today.
And you were looking pretty good on the fan vote. That actually just got updated. I believe you are second now in the fan vote. Why should people at home vote for you so you can get yourself into the shootout?
Give the hometown kid a chance, I guess. I don't know.
There you go. Thank you, Christopher, and best of luck this weekend. And there you have it. Hometown kid, right? The 919 just looking for a chance this weekend, Haley.
Yeah, and Caleb, I don't think that you mentioned this during his interview, but I believe that this is Chris's first national race on a two-cycle engine.
Correct.
Yeah, and I'd like to take a little bit of credit. He's getting into the two-cycle stuff. He started off on my old motor.
There you go.
I won't take all the credit for the, I'm sure, strong performance that we're going to see from him this weekend, because Chris is, of course, an incredible driver. But I'd love to take a little bit of credit for getting him into this and watching him flourish a little bit more in his driving.
Exactly. We got to give credit where credit is due. Haley Donaldson, if you will. There you go, Haley. Great little tidbit there. Appreciate that as we continue to work our way through. And again, it's exciting, right? A lot of different drivers. Apologies here. I think got a little too close to our PA here, but again, we work our way to the front of the grid. More local kids. We'll talk to Forrest Adams here real quick. Forrest, you're actually pitted out of your garage this weekend. You and your dad out there. How are you feeling this weekend? Right, home race, IAME Grand Nationals, and your first in senior racing action.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. You know, my first ever sort of pro race was Pro Shifter at Stars at Ohio, and that was pretty cool. But it's gonna be a fun weekend. I'm gonna learn a lot. You know how these guys run, and yeah, I'm just here to have fun.
And I feel like you've always been watching the shootouts, right, from the other side of the fence line. You know, what would it mean to you to be a part of that here this weekend?
Oh, it means so much. I mean, last year when I did in junior, our motor wasn't that good, so I didn't have that great of an opportunity. But this year, if I won it, that'd be amazing for me.
There you go. Best of luck, Forrest.
Thank you.
There you guys have it from the 928 Forrest Adams. Him and Dad having a good weekend here, and again looking to right talk about the hometown kids. We talked about McKeithen. We'll talk about Forrest Adams here as well. Nonetheless, KA Senior, that first group just getting wrapped up here. Well, quick little break from us. KA Senior, that second group, out on track now. And again, we talked a lot about the shootouts, right? In those interviews, drivers talking about it. There's a different feel to it, right? And we've seen some great battles always when it comes down to shootout action. My first event on the mic back in 2023, Daniel Formal, Paulie Massimino. We'll have you guys take a look at that. And that was, again, one of the battles that we saw where you have different drivers, right? Danny Formal on the shifter side of things, coming in a race in the KA Senior shootout, as well as Paulie, who, again, we've seen in KA Senior action, I think, more consistently this year. But the two of them came together in one of the corners. And again, Paulie obviously not very happy. Danny was, because he was able to get the win there. But that's just a different feel of it, right? Everything just comes down to the wire when you're racing for $4,000 here. And that's a huge part of our sponsors as well, Apex Apparel. As well, the sponsor for the shootout tonight. But that's going to be a huge part of it, right, to see. And we're going to see more battles like that, I'm sure, Haley, when we work into the tonight shootouts. And everybody's in good spirits, right? One of my favorite interviews that I had just now, and I was telling you about it, Austin, right? Everybody's just happy to be here, different layout, different perspective to a weekend where it keeps things fresh. I think more often than not, we can find ourselves you know, it's almost same old every weekend, but when you come to an event like this where it gives you a different feel to shootouts, to money, we all love money, right? If you heard it from Harrison there, but all jokes aside, it's different. It's something fresh for us, and it's always cool to be a part of as well with how long the summer stretch is, and we're just at the end of it now. I'm a week out of summer now. I started school on Monday, but you know, that being said, it's great to be back, and I'm excited to see some great racing action here later on tonight. And as well, we have heat races coming up. I believe standard layout today, and then tomorrow it's going to change on Saturday, which is cool. You don't see that anywhere else, right? Where they give you a different layout halfway through the weekend, and you get on with it. And that's a huge testament to everything Eric Jones and the IAME East team has done to bring this event on every year.
Yeah, I think that this event is it's so unique because we don't especially see even 2 layout changes in a weekend. This weekend, we're going to see these drivers race on 4 different racetracks on the same racetrack. We don't see that anywhere else in the karting community, and I just find that so incredibly interesting. And another thing that I think is really interesting that the viewers at home might not even know, I don't even know if you know this, Caleb, but after spending some time with Paulie after the shootout last year and hanging out with that trophy, those guns that you see on the front of those shootout
I remember
they
very well.
actually
Yeah.
shoot. They're pop guns. And this is a funny memory, but I watched Paulie shoot off the gun, and whenever he discovered it, that they actually do work. And Marco Samo, a driver that we don't have here this weekend, he freaked out. It was absolutely hilarious.
It was
Marco,
funny.
if you're watching this at home, I'm so sorry to embarrass you, but you had me cackling.
Yeah, and that's actually a cool thing about it as well. The trophies we haven't talked about, that's all shootout for later tonight, and those things do shoot, not real guns for those of you at home. But yeah, very, very cool addition, right, to have something like that on a trophy. So again, we'll see if we can catch up with more drivers. I see our mini Swifts already gritting up. They're going to have their helmets on, as well. X30 Jr going out. We'll talk to some of them, and big storylines for those young drivers as well throughout the year last year, right? They're going to have their shootouts, I believe, tomorrow maybe or today. I got to take a better look at the schedule. Haven't done my job to the best of my ability, but yeah, they are going to have shootouts. I believe 5 drivers are going to make it into those shootouts for a chance to win $1,000 on that front. So that's exciting for the kiddos to get them involved as well, and to make them a part of the show, to have them right there with us in the shootout. So that'll be an exciting thing to see. We'll see if we can catch up with more drivers here real quickly.
Yeah, you'll see me later on throughout today, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit more of a breakdown on how these shootouts are going to work, what we're going to see, track layout. I'm going to break it all down for you, but I don't want to spoil it too early. We have some time to fill later as we're waiting in between these classes, but I'm really excited to get to talk to you guys all weekend.
Yeah, it'll be fun for sure, and these mornings are fun for us as well, right, Haley? Getting to talk to these, all the drivers and you know, everybody in good spirits, right? Everybody happy to be here, happy to be a part of it. You know, depending on if you had a good day yesterday, it's a new day today, and it's fresh. It also feels kind of weird, right, that we're not up so early at 6:30, 5:30, if you will, and you know, night racing, and it's great to be at Trackhouse, right? One of the best night races and night racing events that we have on the year. We don't have very many, but when we do, it's definitely a good time.
good? What I get?
First. We're okay though, aren't we? Yeah, we're like 63. Do you help, Nick? No. Special help. Thanks. That's how you go number one. Let's go. Okay, then. I didn't even take Chris out. Nope. Mini Swifts out on track now, and our X30 Jr is on grid as well. A couple of changes over the past couple of weeks. Haley Donaldson catching up with Travis Pettit.
Travis, it's some new colors for you this weekend. How are you feeling with the new team so far?
I'm feeling great, feeling confident. Kart's good, engine's good. Now I just got to put it together.
And how did practice go yesterday? Give us a little bit of a recap.
No, yeah, yesterday was definitely good. We were testing some stuff to be faster, and I think we found. I feel like we found the setup for both configurations. So yeah.
Thank you, Travis.
Thank you.
Great to hear from Travis there as well. New colors for him here this weekend, and again that turnaround by the offset suit's quite quick, right? Already have his name on the back of his Rawson Performance Group suit, if you will. And again, more drivers working their way through here as well through the grid. We talked to a couple of them that again we're going to be seeing throughout the weekend, and we'll talk to a couple of more here as well. We'll see if we can catch up real quick with John Antonino Jr. John, real quick here, while we got you, right? How do you feel, right, being back at the IAME Grands this year?
I feel good. I'm confident than last year. I have really good pace. In the happy hour for the KA, I didn't have draft, and I was still P12, only like a 10th off of the person who was actually first, because the actual first place on track had a senior header on, but yeah.
There you go, and again, just talk about the differences, right, of the track. It's hot in the morning, a little cooler in the afternoon. How are you guys been adjusting to that?
For the most part, it's been fine. Yeah, just got to figure out a couple things with the X30, but for the most part, we're good.
There you go. Best of luck, John.
Thank you.
There you guys have it from John Antonino. Double duty for him this weekend. We've seen him on 125cc action over at the Stars Championship Series when he does run on the OKN side of things, OKNJ, if you will, side of things, Haley. And again, we're seeing him back in X30 Jr racing action this weekend. So it'll be exciting to see John Antonino out there. He's suiting up. Again, as well, a couple of more drivers as well suiting up. I'll talk to hometown kid, local kid as well, Ashton Moon. Ashton, great to have you back here. And again, he's the most important, right? Got to suit up, got to get ready. How does it feel, right? Racing at home. You talked yesterday, only 15 minutes on the road, sleeping in your own bed this weekend for a change.
Yeah, it feels really nice to be here at my home track. I'm pretty fast, and KA happy hour, didn't have new tires, and I didn't have a draft either, so I think I'm still okay. I got good pace, and I hope I'm gonna be pretty high up here for this happy hour too. So yeah.
And a good roll of momentum for you as well. Just got a win back at the Summer Nationals as well. How has this program kind of been developing for you, right, in your first year in the junior ranks?
Speed's been really good. I've been really fast all year, and hopefully I can get another win soon.
Yo, best of luck.
Thank you.
There you guys have from Ashton Wynn again, looking for another win, and it would be a lot, right, if he's able to get it on home turf, on home soil as well here this week. And we'll let, again, more of our drivers to continue to suit up. And Haley standing by with our very own Max Weiland.
Yeah, I've got Mad Max Weiland, and he's coming off, I believe last time we were here, you came home with a win. Are you feeling confident coming into this weekend?
I am. I'm focused. I just need to put my head down, put some good laps, and see what happens.
And what about the shootouts? I'm sure you've thought about it. There's a prize pot. Do you want it?
Yes, I do.
Of course you do. What are you thinking about over the whole weekend? Obviously, over the whole weekend, we're going into the heats. Are you focusing more so on the shootout, or are you focusing on the final?
I'm really focusing on the final. What happens in the shootout happens. I'm just going to put my head down, give it my all, and see if I make it or not.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
There you guys have Max Weiland. They continue to suit up, put everything on here as they continue to get ready. X30 Juniors, again, that's going to be one of the most competitive classes that we see this weekend. As well, new standouts as well throughout the weekend, right? That we are going to see work their way through the field. Again, a number of drivers. I see one that I actually wanted to talk to, X30 Jr. Looks like he's waiting for his Paralyn machine to come up, moving up from Mini Swift this weekend. So it'll be great to see him on the X30 side of things. Again, take place here with us, if you will, at the IAME Grand National Championships. We'll wait for these drivers to get ready. We'll be right back with some more. We'll talk some more of our rookie drivers here as well, or if you will, X30 Junior drivers, if you will. One of the ones just making the move up to Junior this weekend, right, Enzo? How are you feeling? How are you taking to this X30 Junior class?
Definitely really fun, definitely very excited. A new class, definitely bigger drivers. Hoping for the best and most hard racing I've got for the year.
Did the speed shock you any little bit, right? Because it is, I think, a lot more horsepower, if you will, on the straightaways and through the corners compared to a Mini Swift.
Yeah, definitely very much faster. I mean, I've driven the Rotax, that's it, but this is definitely a big difference.
There you go. Well, have some fun this weekend, and I'll let you get ready for the session.
Thank you.
There you guys have from X30 Jr, one of the drivers to look out. He's been a standout as well this year in Mini Swift, making the move up to X30 Jr. Haley. That'll be cool to see him work his way out there in the X30 Jr class. And he said it, right? A lot bigger drivers, older drivers, if you will. He's now the rookie, right? One of the kids, if you will, in the class, working his way up against some of the older kiddos in this class. So it'll be cool to see how he takes to it in his first weekend, right? And we have seen a lot of those younger drivers take to this class very well. Royce Vega, one of the ones this year, throughout the year, who's been impressive, right? Won the race on track out at Newcastle 2 weeks ago, and again finished fourth after post-race penalties. He's one of the ones that we've been looking at. Parker Ives, home, local for him here at Trackhouse Motorplex. Excited to see him out there, what he can do at his home track. And again, they've been confident on the full layout. The different layouts is something different for everybody as well, right? Adjusting, whether it's gear, whether it's rear width, multiple different things. And we can go on and on. There's a whole list of things that change whenever you do look at those different layouts that do take part. And some drivers are more confident on the national layout, right? More room on the racetrack, if you will. Not as tight, not as twisty, not as fast. So it'll be cool to see them take on. And again, engines are firing. We'll let them roll out here.
Paulie Massimino wins the Wisconsin Grand Prix. James Overbeck
On start number 2 gets win number 1 in OKN Stars.
On track or off, Brandon Jarsakrak Racing delivers elite performance. Led by 4-time Pro National Champion Brandon Jarsakrak, our team masters driver coaching, data-driven analysis, and mechanical precision at every national event. Contact us today at BrandonJarsakracRacing.com.
Florida Kart Racers, you asked for it and we're going to bring it. Introducing Florida Karting Championship, FLKC, a brand new racing series coming to Florida in 2026.
Hey, what's up, Caleb?
What's up, Brandon?
You sound defeated. A long day at the office?
Yeah, got stuck at a cat food marketing meeting for like 3 hours. I don't know a thing about cat food, and I don't even work in marketing. And then I got sent on a coffee run like I was some sort of intern. Then at the end of the day, when I went to go get gas, I just realized everything is so darn expensive nowadays, man.
Yeah, you got that right.
Like, do you have any idea how much we're spending on Netflix?
That's like 20 bucks a month.
Do you know how much we're spending on cable?
That's like 50 bucks a month.
But you know what isn't expensive?
Tell me.
Kart Chaser Premium. For only $9.99 a month, you can watch all of the American karting action live from coast to coast. Subscribe and become a member today.
Paulie Massimino wins in KA. Paulie Massimino is a winner in OKN Stars.
Take your driving to the next level with one-on-one coaching from 2024 OKN Stars champion Paulie Massimino. Kart rental options are available if you'd like to keep yours at home, and drivers in all classes are welcome, from Briggs 206 to Mini to KA100 and X30. With in-depth data analysis, onboard video footage review, and lead follow on-track sessions, each private coaching session will see you end as a more complete driver than when you started. Book your coaching session now.
Florida Kart Racers, you asked for it and we're going to bring it. Introducing Florida Karting Championship, FLKC, a brand new racing series coming to Florida in 2026.
Hi, I'm Jackson with Alpha Race Hub. Alpha is an all-in-one motorsports software solution that can solve all the software problems you need for your track, facility, or series. Alpha can cover all your software bases, from online registration, digital e-waivers, a proprietary timing and scoring software, incident management, automated points tabulation, tire and barcode scanning. We even have our own mobile timing app and rental kart activity management software. If you're looking to consolidate your motorsports software solutions, reach out to us at alphatiming.co.uk.
Champions aren't just born on the kart track. At SimShop, we deliver professional-grade simulators with the best performance to price ratio in the industry. Founded by racers who understand what you need, our SimMagic and Moza equipment is powerful enough for the pros, yet affordable for everyone. With unmatched customer support and a thriving community, we're your racing partner. Visit simshop.com today.
Are you ready to get behind?
Welcome back to the 5th edition of the IAME Grand National Championships. It's a pleasure, as always, being back, our 5th event, our 5th anniversary as well, being live. I said it this morning, and Xander, a pleasure to be back here, right, for my 3rd event, and I know your 5th event on year 5 of streaming, if you will, but nonetheless, great to be back so far here this weekend.
Indeed, Caleb. It's a pleasure to be back at the IAME USA Grand National Championship, as you mentioned, our 5th year, the 5th anniversary of our first ever live broadcast. And you and Haley have been getting a whole lot of intel. She's got a little more for us down on pit lane. Let's send it on down to you, Hale.
I've got Cameron Weinberg here. This weekend, last year, we saw you here, but you were looking a little different. You had a fire suit on. You made our shootout. Didn't quite win it, but this year, you're back. You're a mechanic for your good friend Caleb. What are you thinking about whenever he's on track, getting ready to get him stronger today?
Main thing for us right now is just tire pressures for quali, because that really determines kind of how our whole weekend can go. He knows the track, obviously, home track. So I'm not really worried about the driving. We've been good. We're fast in both classes. Main thing right now is just the tire pressure, and hopefully we can win everything. We were quick enough, so hopefully he doesn't do anything like he normally does.
And as a driver turned now mechanic, whenever you're watching your friend, fellow driver out on track, what are you thinking about watching him, telling him any critiques?
I kind of just, from what he tells me, from what I see, I try to put myself in a position of like, all right, have I felt this before? Relay it with, you know, the guys in the tent and make some calls from there. But we haven't really made any changes too much, just small changes, and we've been really good.
Thank you, Cameron.
Thanks.
Speed's only one part of the ultimate factor here at the IAME USA Grand National Championship. Obviously, Caleb, we've seen a lot of stories come through this event last year, now even to this year, with more to break down from a big-time increase in the overall turnout, over 185 plus in attendance on the driver list over just 6 divisions, has every class at near, or in the case of K100 Senior, at capacity. 50 entries there, 30 plus deep in X30 Pro. We were talking about how strong the front of the field was with the US Pro Kart Series last time we were out here, but now even another level up, it feels like, with how deep this grid is.
Yeah, this is huge, right? The Pro X30s, I mean, you have a lot of storylines coming into the weekend, right? A lot of different drivers with a chance to win, and that kind of goes back to the point that I made earlier today, right? A huge club scene. This is, you know, really one of the only clubs that has that X30 class, and you'll see a lot of drivers, right, really good here at Trackhouse Motorplex. And throughout the year as well, we've seen, you know, a lot of different drivers. I think our wall of winners on the 125cc circuit has been massive with the, you know, variety of names that we have there, from Stars, from PKS to SCUSA. And this weekend, right, another driver on the final 3 events of the year, if you will, of 125cc racing action. Who's going to be that new driver, or are we going to see a little bit more of the same faces, right, work their way to the wall of winners? But again, massive stories coming to the weekend. Caleb G back in the Pro X30 package here this weekend. I'm sure it's been a while. We've seen him obviously race OKN, but not too much on the Pro X30 side of things. He's back. Oliver Hodgson as well, making a return here this weekend with the Timmy Tech Kart team. And again, finally getting a new suit here this weekend after that kind of broke for him when we were out at SCUSA.
Yeah, he is back dressed in the white, yellow, and blue Kart colors. He was decently quick yesterday, but there were a lot of names up and down the pylon, especially with the fact only half the day was on this standard layout. Obviously, one of the major differences, the IAME USA Grand National Championship, to the rest of our regular season of events, is we alternate the track layout. Tonight will be a surprise for the K100 Senior drivers and the Fast 5 Shootout support classes in Micro Swift and KA Junior. That'll be announced later on this afternoon. But on top of that, there will be a number of changes to the go-karts going in overnight for everybody, with tomorrow going to an alternate layout that they practiced at the end of the day yesterday. This layout they only saw for 3 sessions in the first half of the afternoon. The secondary layout that'll be run tomorrow for Heat 2 and the Super Heat, that one had practices 4, 5, and 6, and that saw a lot of changes. So we're back to the usual track that we run at Trackhouse Motorplex. It'll also see them on this configuration on Sunday. And we've got some usual names at the top. Austin Garrison still quickest here in the final practice session before qualifying. Rookie Chase Gassiet Lee there second as Garrison's pulled in early. And with the fact that they're running 2 different layouts and splitting the practice day in half, you saw a lot of variance in the leaderboard because everyone was on different tire strategies. And I wouldn't be surprised if there were still a pretty big mixed bag of wear in terms of drivers going new MG rubber for this warm-up and scuffs. And that was kind of what we saw as well in those earlier sessions here today.
Yeah, it was different. I mean, throughout the day yesterday, right, a lot of drivers had different approaches to the amount of tires they were using. Some drivers, you know, I think showed up to the grid with I believe 3 different times with a new set of tires to get out there on the racetrack. So that's huge here this morning. From what I saw, you know, the majority of them, it looked like, you know, we're going with a new set of tires. That's what it looked like in K-Scener, and I'm assuming that trend continued in Pro X30 as well. For these guys doing double duty, right, Austin Garrison, only 1 mechanic from here this weekend, Tim Lowball on the wrenches for him, and that's a quick turnaround, right, for guys to go in Pro X30, then to go try and focus on the KA side of things as well. So it's very busy, if you will, for the drivers. You know, joked around with Austin this morning. I'm not sure how you know how old he is now, but I know he is getting older, right? His birthday just last weekend, I believe.
Yeah, just turned 27. He's got me beat by a couple of days. So last week.
Hey, happy birthday to you as well,
yeah,
Xander.
Yeah.
1 year closer to Masters, right?
No. You could say the same about Austin Garrison and the number of veterans over the age of 25 in the field, but, well, he's got one on the kids as we end our final round of the warm-ups here on Friday. A quick time at a 46.969. That is blistering pace, by the way, when you look at the qualifying times on the U.S. Pro Kart Series event here earlier in the spring. They were in the low to mid 47, so they are flat flying around Trackhouse Motorplex today. Gassiet Lee, the only other driver in the 46-second bracket to end warm-up. Caleb Gaffera, as Cameron Weinberg stated in that quick soundbite with Haley, he's got speed once again at his home racetrack there. Third, Paulie Massimino. Fourth, Blake Nash. Gus Lawrence, Dalton Haynes, James Overbeck in only his third X30 start on the year after 2 rounds in the Winter Series. Ryan Raffa, and then ADT rounds out the top 10, one of the fastest drivers from the last time we were on the national tour 2 weeks ago in Indiana. So the conclusion of the summer stretch of majors is about to get underway. There's one final look at how they stacked up in their last time to tune things up before we go qualifying, and we'll kick that off with Micro Swift. On the other side of this break, you're watching the IAME USA Grand National Championship from Trackhouse Motorplex on Kart Chaser.
Today.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Are you stuck with your kart racing? Not sure the ideal kart setup? Or going to a track for the first time? Well, Kart Class has the answers for you. Our online portal has a wealth of experience and knowledge to help your kart racing. From kart setup advice to track guides that are targeted specifically to your circuit, or the driver coaching aspect with mindset, racecraft and driving techniques. If you want to take your karting to the next level, visit us at kartclass.com.
Are you looking to take the next step in your racing journey? Well, look no further than FitFit.
With 2 locations in Charlotte, North Carolina and Indianapolis, Indiana, FitFit trains drivers all the way from grassroots level karting to IndyCar and NASCAR with top-of-the-line personalized coaching to improve physical and cognitive fitness.
For more information on programs, check out PitFit on Instagram or Facebook today.
Kyle, what are you doing?
It's got my new Greyhound seat.
You don't even have a cart.
Doesn't matter. I have a Greyhound.
Who the f is Kyle Cuthbertson? Doesn't even have a go-kart.
Doesn't matter.
Cuthbertson threw on Turney. Turney in the dirt.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and zero sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
Qualifying underway for the heat races here for the IAME Grand National Championship, and already a bit of gamesmanship for the Micro Swifts. Nobody wants to toe the line around, or at least nobody did down the backstretch. Hudson Howard says no problem for all of 3 corners. He'll pull to the wayside. So will Jack Katowski, so will Brody Brown, and we're going to go 2 and 3 wide and up over the concrete on the inside of turn 8, Caleb, as we've got, sadly, one driver that didn't make it out of that hairpin, got turned around, and now there's more contact in front of everyone. Slate Harrell barreling into the back of Katowski in turn 9. And where this is going to shake out and what this is going to do to the field, we might have a really mixed bag for the starting lineup if this continues throughout the entirety of the 8-minute session.
Yeah, this is huge, right? I mean, when you talk about Trackhouse Motorplex, it's, a lot of draft around this place, especially this back straightaway, right, leading into turn number 4. So rightfully so, nobody's going to want to lead. Nobody's going to want to be that first kart out in front. But again, you run into a lot of issues, and I'm sure Blake Hunt and Porter Wiesenso are going to have a look at that, right? And again, just Wiesenso, my apologies. Just have a look at everything. We've seen how they've been over at the USPKS side of things, and I'm sure that's going to translate here this weekend at the IAME Grand National Championships. But you look a little bit back to last year in 2024, Dutch Westbrook, the reigning IAME Grand National Champion in the Micro Swift class, and you see him going around with the number 1 on his Bennick machine.
Yeah, Dutch Westbrook will go by one more to set himself up nicely here over Caden Gladera, and they're right off the bat. We're going to start with a few furled black flags here in our very first qualifying session. Only 6 divisions. We'll have 7 groups for qualifying and a split format for the K100 seniors through the weekend. This sets their starting spot for 2 heat races over the course of the weekend. They're long heats. You'd think that it wouldn't be that critical, but ultimately it is enough where all the kids are trying to stay behind at least one kart to get a tow. So that is on the right side of your screen, the multiple moments on the outlap. And pushback bumpers, of course, part of this event. So sadly, that might have knocked the one in for Slate Harrell in the number 8. We'll have to wait for the official results to come in and figure out where they're going to line the grid up this afternoon. For now, Dutch Westbrook's time good enough to go to the top. He'll now take over command of this group as Lennox Lockhart drops back into line. He'll drop a couple spots back, ultimately back 3 there behind Liam Astalis. And ahead of that group, 2 JHD karts working together nicely. Hudson Howard, one of them. And it looked to be, was that Brody Stoffel in front of him there? The 2 working their way down the backstretch to 4. No, that is the 72 of Mason Brody, 6 currently.
Yeah, correct. Mason Brody, Hudson Howard up front, Dutch Westbrook, then Liam Francisco, Astalis, and a couple of more as well further back, just trying to set in some laps there. And again, did hear this morning at the drivers meeting that you only get 1 bumper protest on the weekend. You can either do it, again, in qualifying today, tomorrow, or Sunday, right? But you only get 1 bumper protest on the weekend. So, again, Blake Hunt said this morning, just keep that in mind, keep that in your back pocket, and once you use it, that's it. You get no more as this weekend goes on. But again, we'll keep an eye as it continues to go forward. Just halfway through this qualifying session, just over 3 minutes to go. And again, Mason Brody, Hudson Howard, who's now 2nd, Dutch Westbrook, top of the timing charts with a 53.746. So everybody's still looking for a 10th on Dutch Westbrook so far in this qualifying session here, Xander.
Again, still only halfway, and considering we burned the first couple laps of it, I think we'll see some more movement, especially further down. You look at the delta through the field, it's pretty wide. Now again, only 20 in the Micro Swift class. You'd think it's not the end of the world to start a little bit further back, but here is where it is important, maybe more so than the rest of the weekend. It's to be in the top 5 to transfer to the Fast 5 shootout and a shot at some additional prize money tonight, because the Micros will be the first of the 2 undercard classes leading into the Apex Apparel K100 Senior Shootout. And the way those 5 drivers will be selected will be an equal weighing process between where they qualified and where they finished heat number 1. So obviously, a top 5 starting spot in a field of 20 isn't the end of the world when you look at the heats being 13 laps apiece, a super heat that re-racks, lots of time to get in a good spot for the main on Sunday. But when it comes to being able to have some fun later tonight in those quick back-to-back Fast 5 shootouts, well, it does matter a little bit whether you go 3rd or 6th, because again, it's going to be 50-50 of weighing how you end up heat number 1, and that's where Dutch Westbrook's earlier time, Hudson Howard's time now that has slotted him safely to second and his teammate Mason Brody to third. Well, they're already halfway there to being a part of the night show.
And again, correct me if I'm wrong here, Xander, but I believe it's $1,000 their way as well, as they are able to come away with the race victory at the end of the shootout. So $1,000, I mean, that's a huge payday for these drivers in their young career. But that being said, just a minute and a half to go, so it's time to send in some laps as it stands when you talk about shootout later on tonight, and as well as qualifying. Your top 5 for Dutch Westbrook, Hudson Howard, Mason Brody, Lennox Lockhart, and Brody Stoffel are in. Caden Caldera currently 6th to Liam Francisco. Asilas Harrell, hometown kid. Again, a lot of people had their eyes on the RPM Nitro Kart of Slate Harrell. The number 8 has been good here. Won when we came here for the United States Pro Kart Series at the second round of that season. So
in SCUSA Pro Tour action, the sessions are long for everyone except for Pro Shifter. Their Super Pole sessions were set really off one lap, one out lap, one kind of still build-up lap, and then only 2 laps in total meant your second lap had to be on the money to start up in the front of the 12. This group, plenty of chances, plenty of time, and the timers just hit 0. Here we go. Mason Brody now leads what appears to be a 5-car pack. Hudson Howard in tow, Westbrook, Lennox Lockhart, Liam Francisco. Keep your eye on those names that are a bit further down the board. Where will they end up as they cross the line? Actually, Liani Shalvo, in the 20. And to the line, it'll be Lockhart and Francisco, indeed. Liam there in the 20, leapfrogging the field to go to the top.
Yeah, nobody else really able to improve. And again, it looks like nobody was able to set in a personal best outside of Liam Francisco and Dutch Westbrook, who, again, we saw Francisco go up to second, Dutch Westbrook to third, but as it stands, Lennox Lockhart on the pole position when we head into heat race number 1. And again, the very same racetrack where he got his first top 10 finish in the Microsoft class, and again, comes back here a year later, puts it on the top step, or on the front row, I should say, heading into the first heat race. Again, later on today at about 3:30 p.m. Eastern local time here. But so far, a good session, and I think we might have seen a little preview of what we're going to see later on today as well there, Xander.
Yeah, I think the times are only going to tell part of the story. Obviously, a good lap there at the end for Lennox and Liam. You take that out, though, the field is very, very close, especially from Hudson Howard there in 4th at the end, back down to Brody Brown and Alessio Tosti in 12th and 13th. Only a 4-tenth spread. It'll be close. But Lennox Lockhart is going to get to lead the field to green here for heat number 1 later this afternoon.
And you see him there as well, fired up about that, again, pole position. So again, that's huge, right? And I'm not even all too sure if maybe some of these kids are even thinking about the shootout. I'm sure it's going to be in the back of their minds as well, but we'll see as it goes on.
Lennox Lockhart, he's working on getting his helmet off, so I'll keep this question quick while you're getting out. Lennox, what a lap out of you. It's pole. How are you feeling? Do you feel like you could have put anything else out there, or are you happy with this performance?
I'm happy with this performance. The team good, very good. I like my mechanic IAME did very good on the setup. Thank you to him. And my team has done very good with my kart.
Thank you, Lennox.
Thank you.
So one group set, and we move on to the next. Micro Swift here, just clearing the racetrack and going over final checks before the KA Juniors will roll. They will actually be split in 2 with how big their turnout was this weekend. So 2 groups coming up to set the grid. It'll be an overall merge, and then they'll race together from here on out through the 2 heats and the super heat. Last year had 3 heats and a super heat. This year 2. And that means that the alternate layout's going to weigh out even more in terms of your main event starting spot compared to the standard layout here at Trackhouse Motorplex. Beautiful weather, arguably the best weather conditions I think we've had for this event over its 5-year run. We've been in the heat, we've had some pop-up showers, we've had as well a run where we did this event in 2022 in the fall, and it was a little bit chilly for the night shows, but it's been maybe just barely touching 80 degrees at the peak of the afternoon, cooling down to nice 60 and 70 degree weather here in the evenings. It should be a lot of fun, and obviously The grass is green. There's been a lot of rain, and there is a small threat as the weekend goes on, but today, hardly a cloud in the sky. Just a beautiful view around Trackhouse Motorplex that has hosted so many majors over this facility's storied 15-year history. And long beyond that, it will continue to provide more action. We've got the KA Jr first group now led out onto the circuit by Jose Alejandro Halfin. So as they begin to make their way out of the access road and up the hill to turns 1, 2, and 3, this group going right to it. No waiting around like in Micro Swift. They're going right to the power here as they try to split away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, we're starting to fire off relatively quick, and again, the first time I believe we see the return of Jose Alejandro Halfin this weekend after what I believe it was a big win for him out at the SCUSA Pro Tour on Sunday for Jose. I'm not sure if it was at SCUSA or I believe it was at SCUSA. So again, seeing him return here this weekend, it was here quite early this morning getting to work, and again, he's feeling quite comfortable, but huge classes here on the KA Junior side of things, and I think we're going to see some great racing, right? A lot of names, a lot of local kids, like we talked about this morning. So it'll be great to see, you know, and you know, it's all out when you talk about the shootouts as well for the KA Juniors as well. They're a part of the shootout format tonight, the Fast 5 shootout, if you will, for them with Micro and Junior, the undercard for the KA Seniors.
5-car group here led by Halfin, Nathan Dupuis, Tyrone Kemper Jr. there in the black suit. All together, Edward Kennedy's going to split them up a little bit with a move down the inside. We've got a few faces that are debuting under new colors here this weekend. Travis Pettit, one of them we talked to earlier today on the RPG Cosmic. He's only, I believe, in the X30 Junior class, so representing the purple and pink and blue crew in this group at least is Jose Halfin. And indeed, double duty for Trav, but it's not in Group A. He'll be in Group B coming up later. This is a 17-deep group, 30-plus in KA Junior. They were under the cap where we felt safe enough to run them through heats 1 and 2 and the super heat all together. And KA Senior, while at 50, splitting them up to 25 and 25 makes those heats a little bit more spread out, a little cleaner, and that means that you won't see the merge of all the fast drivers together until main events on Sunday. And again, only 10 of them will automatically go through to the Apex Apparel shootout tonight, with 2 more going in off a promoter's pick. And of course, the K100 Senior fan vote. We'll have updates on that later on, but you can vote right now up until 5 p.m. Eastern to promote your favorite KA100 Senior driver into the shootout races tonight. Right now, Joseph Hewitt leads the fan vote standings. And again, that'll stay open until about an hour and a half before they really need to start getting ready and getting their allotted tires for their shootout. The KA Juniors will run the same format as the Micro Swifts. It'll just be a get to know the track / qualifying session for them, and then they'll run a short dash amongst the 5 that will make it. So the K100 Senior format we'll touch on, but for KA Junior, the story remains the same as what we just witnessed in Micro, if not with heavier weight, because this quali group, they'll need to really set a high bar as more rubber gets laid down on the circuit over the 8-minute sessions to hopefully have a top 5 effort and make that run into the Fast 5 shootout to compete for $1,000 a bit easier by just cruising through Heat 1. Otherwise, they'll have to really hope for some bad luck out of the ending top qualifiers and themselves really punch a high score in Heat number 1.
Yeah, at the moment, as we look at this qualifying session, Anthony Luis for the host driver development team, currently fastest. And he's, again, further back in line. Looks like he's 5th or 6th in this line of Jose Alejandro Halfin, all led by Nathan Dupuis, Tyrone Kemper Jr. And it looks like Edward Kennedy right in between them on the energy as well. So those 5 drivers, and the driver who currently sits 5th, the fastest of them all, a 50.379. He's 14 thousandths of a second quicker than Tyrone Kemper Jr. on the Speed Concepts racing machine. Again, we work our way through, and it's pretty much nose to tail as this one goes on, and we're seeing a lot of that. The next best is going to be Jaramillo, who's 6th in line, 6th on the racetrack for the U-Race team. The 882 just dropped down to 7th. Bindi gets himself into the top 5, but again, going to change, and Dupuis out of line, back in the line. Edward Kennedy looking to go on Junior, and we're going to see a lot more of this, right, as this session goes on. We saw it in Micro, we're seeing it here in Junior, and I'm sure the second half of the KA Juniors are as well taking notes before their session hits the racetrack here in a couple of moments.
Nathan Dupuis will now drop back, and I think you'll see that probably a couple more times here in the last minute and a half. In fact, we'll see it one corner later. Edward Kennedy's going to reset himself to try and make another run at the pole. Now, the MG red tires used for the KA classes and the micros and minis seem to have a decently wide window to put a good lap together, at least somewhere probably between lap 3 to lap 6. And with the warmer temps keeping the grip up on the racetrack but not being too hot where the tires are going to roast pretty quickly, I think that's going to, again, make the different strategies all work. If you want to be the one to wait in the early couple laps and try to just have a good push lap on lap 4 or lap 5, or if you want to push early, then reset and do it again, you probably can. I don't think we'll see that in X30 Jr or X30 Pro. And X30 Jr is still on the reds, but a little bit higher horsepower will probably eat them up a little quicker. But I don't know. We might see that class's qualifying sessions look eerily similar to what we're seeing in K Jr. Sadly, we've got one driver that will not make it to the end. Is that Riley Dobelier in the 880? It is. She's 12th. And look how close they are here, Caleb. 4/10 for your top 10. Less than that, really, if you go to Halfin at 3 1/4 back.
Yeah, those gaps are just very, very minimal here. And again, you see it change up front as well, right? Edward Kennedy now goes to the top, and 4 thousandths of a second in between himself and Nathan Dupuis, and then 59 thousandths for Kemper Jr., a 10th for Bindi. So it's very close. And again, we talked about Trackhouse Motorplex time and time again, right, this morning, that there's a lot of drivers that are fast here, right? The draft, it's a huge effect here when you talk about KE Jr., you talk about Micro, you talk about Mini, even Pro X30 that we're going to see later on today. So again, a whole lot of factors, and you're seeing it, right? Nobody wants to be out in front as they continue to change. Halfin now going to go for second. It looks like Anthony Louise was down 5th in line at one point when we started. Now he's all the way up at the front, and everybody else getting closer. Alex Miller, one of the ones to look out for as well for Mike Doty Racing, finds himself 7th, looking to get himself into the top 5. But D'Antonio, the driver who's going to get himself into the top 10, the 890 for Ryan Perry Motorsports, gets himself in there.
50 seconds means this lap is going to be borderline for everyone else to get another. It should be good for this first group, depending what happens here. Lots of passes going on now as Halfin goes to the front of the train. Lewis right behind him. And with how close they all are, again, even the top 5 is only a 2/10 spread, and 1/1000th has Anthony Lewis on the outside as Dupuis bails out. Kennedy the same. Check out at the back of the group there, one of the Ryan Perry Motorsports machines. That's Giovanni D'Antonio. He might be on a really good toe lap to close this one off. Does anyone in the pack go any better? You see Kennedy lining up for one more try. He's going to need to build momentum out of that last turn and hope that he, D'Antonio, and Dupuis move forward. No big lap out of Giovanni that time. In fact, nobody went any quicker on that last lap around. They're all starting to taper off a bit. Whether or not they back off, I don't think it's going to matter at this point. Edward Kennedy might be safe enough with a 50.16 in this group at least.
Yeah, this is huge as well, right? Putting yourself in the best position to try and put the best lap possible. And that's the biggest thing for me about Nathan Dupuis, right? Just making sure he doesn't catch up to Alex Miller too soon. This passing, though, isn't going to help anybody in line. Halfin getting brought right up to the rear bumper of Tyrone Kemper Jr. Louise there as well up front. So it's going to be close when we come to the line. Driver to look out for here, Nathan Dupuis, set himself quite nicely. And again, I think if anybody can beat Edward Kennedy at the moment, it could be Dupuis. We'll take a look at it across the line now. Nobody improves. Dupuis improved, but 1/1000th of a second in between himself and Edward Kennedy, who's going to take the pole provisionally here in group for qualifying B.
So there you go. Benchmark set. 50.166 for Edward Kennedy. And there's a great look down on the grid. Travis Pettit. New suit looks fresh. Let's see if it'll look good enough to stand on the top step of qualifying in Leisure Field to Green. He's towards the front of the field behind a couple. You'll recognize many of the same names from the U.S. National Tour. Nathan Golseth up there, Max Weiland as well. What a weekend this is here in Mooresville, North Carolina. It brings out even some drivers we haven't seen in a while. We've seen a lot of Ashton Woon this year. He's been impressive from the spring run and even improving towards the end of the summer stretch. And John Antonino in this group, a stacked group, and our most recent pair of brothers to now call themselves national or race winners. Jack Katowski and Big Bro Nico Katowski right there in the 892 with Trinity Karting Group will be one of the last drivers to leave the grid as the engines have fired for Group A in K100 Jr. And there it is, your release for them all. And this is going to be, I think, a little bit tighter than maybe Group B. There's 2x2 coming down the access road.
Oh, Max Weiland with issues out of the grid, so that's why our very own Hunter Bolton was running to the front of the grid to get a look at this. Just needed the external starter, able to get going now, but that's going to put him in a very tricky position. Again, we've seen, everybody fighting for position in these qualifying sessions. That's going to be huge for Max, right? He's basically going to have to wait to try and get there. We'll see if he can catch anybody up. Or if he's even better on his own, we'll see what Max Weiland decides to do. And again, we're seeing a couple of drivers return. Super Nationals champion in 2024, Benja Fernandez makes his return here this weekend in KA Junior racing action, as well as a couple of more. We haven't seen Ashton Woon on the KA Junior side of things. We have seen him in X30 Jr, not in KA Junior yet this year. He has done it on the club level, but again, we're seeing what he can do on home soil.
So across the line, it'll be Tristan Murphy who leads the pack up the hill. There's Weiland waiting on the infield run down to turn number 8. He's probably trying to find some friends to play with. And they're halfway around the circuit, all the way on the back straightaway as Lucas Palacio now takes over the lead of the pack, headed into turn number 5. There's a look at Weiland still waiting on them all. He'll burn one lap, but again, another benefit of these longer 8-minute sessions. He can do that, even if he's going to be a bit out of sorts with everyone else up to full pace and with a lot more heat built in those MG tires. He's going to have, at least from what it looked like in that first group, something to the range of 7 or 8 laps to try and put a fast one together, as hopefully he's able to perfectly time it. He's going to be caught right down the front stretch here. He'll pick it up to full song. That'll be a nice tow here for Palacio to close out the first lap, and it'll take him to the top of the board.
Oh yeah, 49.808 for Lucas Palacio, and again, very well timed for Max Weiland. He's going to get past, but that could even be better here, so he can get himself within drafting range with everybody else. Nathan Golseth, the driver, just now slotting in line behind Max Weiland. As well, Tristan Murphy looks to be in that group as well. I think Luca Mars making his return this weekend with the Timmy Tech Kart team. It's been quite a while since we've seen Luca out on the national scene, and again, local to Mooresville, North Carolina. We're seeing his return here this weekend as well.
Weiland now has a bit of a gap to line up, so this next lap could be good for Max. The other drivers jumping up again into the top 10 with a big delta from last lap. It should tighten this lap here, especially with how close Travis Pettit and Oliver Nabert are to Palacio. Pettit will go to second, making the pass on that lap. Ashton Woon will jump up to third, and Tonino into fourth. Max Christie at a fifth, and it's a 1.5 spread for your top 5. Lap time-wise, they are way quicker than the opening group here, as it was top half, bottom half. And the pole sitter from Group A will drop on only the second lap to what looks to be around maybe 13th here. So 12 of the drivers going way better. 49.518 now for Valentino Santian atop the pylon.
Yeah, Nabert's still able to hold on with Travis Pettit and Lucas Palacio, but he's only 8th. At the moment, and again, that entire group just dropped down 6th, 7th, and 8th. We'll see what they can do this time around. And again, Palacio's still leading. We haven't seen much of a change out of them yet. I would expect to see one as it goes on, and there you go. We're talking about Nabert. Just goes up to the top of the timing charts. Ashton Woon a second, Pettit to Murphy to Kai Mars. My apologies there, Kai Mars on his return here this weekend into the top 5. Valentino Santian as well, showing some good pace on that Paralympic machine.
Four minutes to go here, so right at the halfway mark in qualifying. We haven't seen as much dropping back in the front of the pack where we've kind of kept our focus here. Lucas Palacio, Travis Pettit, Oliver Nybert, they have just kind of all stayed in lockstep, and that's had the pack behind them in a great spot to try and hunt them down. Here's the first good lap for Weiland. He'll go up the board into the top 10, and look how close they are. 1/10 of a second, first to 11th, about as close as you can mark it. And Oliver Nybert now 4 thousandths clear over Ashton Woon to take over the hot seat here in qualifying.
I mean, you really don't see anything like this quite often, right? Looking at the left-hand side there, it's just very, very close, right? 2 tenths, 3 tenths that you're off. That could be a 20-spot difference here when you look at, qualifying, when you look at as well heat races. That's huge. That's a huge gap here at Trackhouse Motorplex. There's a lot of drivers that are good around this place, and I mean those gaps, the times are really showing it for themselves, right? Everybody inside of that top 10 in the 49.4s. This is, very, very minimal margins here in the qualifying session.
Nybert's lap holds on that one around. Valentino Santillan will now tie Ashton Woon at a 49.423. 4 thousandths off the pole. 11 thousandths back for Travis Pettit. The downside here for that second group, they've started to fall away a little bit off the back of Max Weiland. He's improved. And if this lap is as good as it looks visually here for the Magic Kart driver, he might be able to dethrone the Red Speed Privateer on the top step. Look how close he'll be able to bring the gap down by not having a car directly in front where he has to brake earlier for turn 8. I think he's within the tow window. Let's see it. Lucas Palacio still setting a high bar for the whole field, and yet he's not getting the benefits. Currently 7th. 2 minutes to go in qualifying for the fast group. K.A. Jr. at the line. And it will indeed be a pole lap for Weiland, only to get quickly pipped by John Antonino. 49.374 for MPG Motorsports now to the top, and he's way back from that group here, leading a duo of himself and Kai Mars right behind on the Timmy Tech Comp Kart.
Yeah, the two of them have been really working very well together, just further back from the pack. And in my opinion, this could almost be a little better for them, right? Just having a little bit of room to stretch their legs. It looks like Antonino's been working his way through and, making moves here and there, finding some room to really, like I said, just stretch his legs, put in laps, put his head down, hit his marks as well on the racetrack. So this is huge for John Antonino as well. And again, a couple of other drivers that are just up the road from them. Nathan Golseth finds himself in 10th. And again, they're within good space on the racetrack as well. Looked like Tristan Murphy as well, the 2 RPM machines. They're on the track, just again with some good space. I think it might even be a little too much with Max Weiland, but again, these top 4 are starting to pass, so they're going to be brought right back into play.
Yeah, they'll be close now here for one more run at it, dropping back for Max Weiland. At this point, you've hit your good lap. I don't know if you're going to go any better being that close to a driver in front. I'd be tempted to pull in here this time if you don't pull out of line. You saw him there check over the shoulder, and he's going to go the opposite way. He's going to just breathe back from Oliver Nybert and try to reset. Now this is about as textbook as you want to play it, assuming Oliver doesn't do the same or bail out of line. 4 car lengths, maybe 5 car lengths back to start your flying lap, and hopefully you end it on the bumper, and Oliver's going to get out of the way. He'll bail. So this will make it really tough for everybody else, as now Palacio and the field are going to have to cross him up, and that's going to get all of them out of shape. Murphy, Golseth, and Pettit, they're all going to lose this last lap essentially. Weiland pulls out of the way. Palacio might be the only one to escape unscathed, but he still had to kind of cross over Nybert.
Yeah, just very, very close there. And again, Oliver just trying to put himself in better position. And again, that's just going to be a burner for about 5 of the drivers in that front group. I'm not sure if anybody's really going to be able to improve, as Weiland now going to make the move on Nybert there as well. Everybody else going to get stacked up. Murphy, Antonino, Golseth, again, having to make moves. And the time to beat a 49.329, I'm not sure it's going to be enough for anybody else. We'll wait and see when they cross the stripe this time by. As it stands, it's still Max Weiland to Antonino to Nybert. And indeed, nobody in the top 10 put in a better lap on the final time around. And again, just everybody just tripping over each other there, Xander, in the end.
It just shows you how important the draft is and how much all of these 11 to 15-year-olds in K.A. Jr. know it. So Max Weiland, Magic Kart USA, top of the board of a 30-plus driver K.A. Jr. quali session. Let's take a look back at the moment where it really kind of sealed it. At the beginning of the final lap here, Oliver Nybert trying to fade back into line. And right here, things got really sketchy between himself and Pettit, Murphy, and Golseth, all hoping they were tuned up for one good last lap, and ultimately none of them being on the receiving end of it. And it'll be still a 1/10 split down the top 5. Ashton Woon and Valentino Santillan still in a dead tie in lap times. 5th and 6th. They were 3 thousandths behind Murphy. And again, that might be the difference, a matter of thousandths to whether or not you end up in the Fast 5 shootout tonight or not. Travis Pettit, Valentino Santillan, and Lucas Palacio down in 8th. Kai Mars and crew, they'll have their work cut out for them in heat number 1 to try and fight their way forward to transfer in heat number 1. They'll need to go probably to the top 2 or 3 spots to clinch a Fast 5 entry off their own merit without anything else happening. But you never know. It's always unpredictable in these pack-based racing divisions at a semi-super speedway, if you will, at Trackhouse Motorplex, or as coined about Newcastle by Ryan Norberg earlier in the year. I think it's easy to take that same token here to Trackhouse, and this is about almost everyone's home circuit. We race here so much on the standard layout. That's why the alternate layout for tomorrow for the shootouts really are fun to watch, because it's new, or at least it's hardly run for even the Trackhouse Motorplex locals, and it levels the playing field out a bit, whereas it's leveled up and leveled out with how many laps everyone's got around this 7/10 of a mile, 11-turn circuit. K100 Senior watching all that, now trying to make their decisions here. The first group for them in qualifying, geared up and ready to go for a 50-driver sold-out division. It is the second largest turnout in the class in the 5-year history of the IAME USA Grand Nationals, only shy of a couple of entries, and at that, again, no different than many other classes we've touched on already. You can make a very strong argument this is the strongest this class has looked in the 5-year run of the IAME USA Grand National Championship.
And you got a lot of drivers from, all over the country working their way out here. You see the Rylance Racing team out of Colorado working their way out here to North Carolina, taking part of the IAME Grand National Championships. You see Adam Rylance there just on the side, again, with his drivers here this weekend. Again, going to be close. The KA Senior class always delivers, and a return to the seat as well for Ryan Perry Motorsports' own Aiden Levy, North Carolina's own as well, making his return to racing action here at Trackhouse Motorplex.
Let's take a look back at what kind of races this class has produced. How about 2023, split in the middle down the 5-year run of the IAME USA Grand National Championship. Year 3 of the event saw a very, very stacked in terms of big names and accolades front of the field, and it was, well, no better way to put it than chaos at the front of the field. First and foremost here, we talk about big names in this circuit, in this class. Danny Formal, Aiden Levy, Brandon Lemke, again, the Super Nationals champion. Joe Turney eventually was able to follow through all of the battling and work his way to the lead over the group. Brent Cruz, NASCAR development driver for Toyota Racing, in the field as well. Austin Garrison was there, and you saw everyone quickly, the moment a new driver took to the lead, try to shuffle that same driver backwards. Danny had a great run on that weekend, but the main event long enough that even as they tried to send JT down the board, he was able to pick him apart and eventually get by the big guy in turn 1, park the bus down at turn number 4, and you could see how many of them were then stacked up. At that point, there was chaos behind, with Formal getting taken out, and that was the gap Joe needed to pull off the win. We saw it in action just 2 weeks ago. We wish him the best here, and we'll see him again in Las Vegas to close out the 2025 Pro National Tour. I know he'd love to be here. He had a great time in his first start at the IAME Grands, and he took a lot of his boss's money. He won about everything there was to win on that weekend, all but one session in particular that had the big payout, but had a $20,000 plus, I think, haul at the end of it. That's what's up for grabs here, folks. It's $4,000 up tonight for the Apex Apparel KA Shootout. There's an additional big purse for their main event on Sunday, both of which paying down the podium. Top 3 tonight, top 5 on Sunday. And if you're pulling double duty, like many drivers are, you have another set of 2 chances with the X30 Pro Shootout presented by MG Tires tomorrow night, and that class's main event that caps off our 6-division run Sunday afternoon. So, first of 2 groups, KA Senior, engines fired, waiting on the command to leave the grid here, and it's a look down a couple of drivers that might have been a surprise to some to be in the slow group for qualifying. How about one of the best qualifiers at the end of the summer? Eli Warren with Host Driver Development had a heck of a July, and he finds himself below the cut line with the split for the two quali groups here.
Yeah, again, we'll see what Eli can do here in this qualifying session. Going to be very close as well. Driver to lead them out, going to be Santi Fernandez for Speed Concepts Racing on his Kart Republic. Looks like Weeks right behind him to Stephen Miller, Barron, Warren, and Caden McQueen again making the return to the KA Senior side of things here this weekend. A couple of others that we're going to see later on today. Austin Garrison making his return to KA Senior Racing action, as well as a couple of other notables again that we've seen throughout the year. Frankie Mossman back in KA Senior this weekend as well. So it's pretty big, right? When you have some of the pro guys coming down to race on the senior side of things. We saw it right in that clip that we saw with Danny Formal and Joe Turney as well going down there. Kai Hunter last year, your winner of the IAME Grand National Championship. So it's always cool to see this class, right? And a lot of drivers double dipping, doing the double, looking to come away with this weekend with a pretty big payday. That being said, first couple laps coming to full song here. First couple of corners, I should say, coming to full song for Fernandez, for Miller, for Barron, and a couple of others up at the front of the field. And we'll see how it goes. So far, pretty tame. A lot more tame, if you will, than the KA Junior classes as well, than the micro. But again, we're going to expect to see that to change as drivers look for a little bit more time out there on the racetrack.
And when you get more fast drivers, right, you're not necessarily worried about dropping back to 20th in the line or 15th in the line if you're in what should be the fast group with how close the lap times are. But here in the slow group, you only see so many drivers that maybe had a bad practice session or were kind of out of sequence with the way they wanted to play their tires yesterday, maybe had a problem in the final deciding session. So you don't want to drop too far back. Eli right here by himself in the middle. You see Caden McQueen behind him. And then you get to some more new faces for at least this event. A return back for Georgia's Oliver Piatek, who spent a lot of time racing Spec Miata over the last couple of seasons. He ran a full national year, I believe, back in 23 and a bit in 24, but it's been less karting for him this year. We got yellow flags flying down at turn 8. Not sure what for, must have been something up the road there at turn no BJR LN Kart. Stephen Miller, first national appearance since the Winter Series in February. Peyton Phillips, Caden McQueen, Forrest Adams in 5th, Warren 6th, Zabo of Vrutski, David Weeks, Satvik Sarathi, your current top 10. There's a look at the 924 of Vrutski rolling around on the AEM karting machine. And here's Miller, teammate, new camp for him this weekend. And you can see Santi Fernandez was frustrated about a pass there by the 954 machine going by, and that was David Weeks. And one thing that I think we'll have to keep an eye on is how many drivers know this circuit inside and out but don't race with the national players on the regular tour, trying to earn respect one way or another. We've seen Santi quite a bit this year. David Weeks, less so, but he's already pulled away from him, and we got contact. Wow. Caden McQueen launching over the side of Fernandez, and there goes the side pod.
That was a huge incident there. I'm not sure if Fernandez was slowing down or what exactly happened there for Santi. McQueen was definitely not expecting him to slow down. And that side pod, it looks like the rear bumper as well was lodged in between the left rear tire of Santi Fernandez there. And yeah, indeed, that's not going to be good for a set of tires as well heading into the day later on today. That is huge damage out of Santi Fernandez there.
So Santi Fernandez and Speed Concepts Racing are going to be having to fight from behind a bit, it appears, for the rest of the weekend until we get to the superheat re-rack. McQueen, don't know if that caused any damage. You can see the little black scuff mark on the right front of that Velocity Racing Sodi kart. One of many drivers running both divisions here today. We'll see it back in action in about all of 40 minutes for the X30 Pro qualifying session. Oliver Piatek from quickest down to second. McQueen on the lap after the contact, now working his way out of 11, sitting atop the board at a 49.25. That lap a little bit slower as he had to pass Piatek. Let's see if this one tunes up for anything solid here. 300s back to Piatek, then Forrest Adams sitting third. Forrest running right behind the duo. He's in a great spot here to close out qualifying with 2.5 minutes to go.
I tell you what, the way that Caden McQueen went up on Santi Fernandez, that was just on the bottom of the frame on the front end. So that's definitely going to probably have to work its way to the frame table later on. And it looks like Fernandez just made a mistake there, dropped the tire on the exit of 6. And again, when he got back onto the racetrack, McQueen just launched over him. And and you can visibly see the damage on that front bumper with the scuff marks, but the frame is probably going to be the biggest concern, right? If it's not kind of folded upwards on the front end, it still looks okay for Caden because he is fastest, right? A 49.253, but, you know, definitely a scary incident, if you will, with 2 minutes to go.
Looking down for any other movement on the 6th lap, you have to go all the way back to Max Saga on the Speed Concepts Racing Carlos Sainz kart, down in 10th, 49.65 for him, and then as he crosses to put 7 in the books, no improvement. So most of the field hitting their best lap on lap 3, lap 4. You see Eli Warren dropping back behind the group of 3 with Weeks there, McQueen, Forrest Adams. Piatek's already pulled, I believe, into the scale line, so he'll call it good with the lap he's laid down, a 49.282. Let's see if McQueen goes any better. He'll close up to Weeks to end this one, and that'll probably do it, I'd imagine, for the Sodi kart driver. It will not be any better. Another 49.58. With one less heat race, you're probably not too concerned about tire deg, so I don't think you'll see many drivers bail for the scales early in any given quali session. But from what the data is showing us here, Caleb, we're not going to see much more movement inside of our top 10 at least, and maybe even further down once we get past about the lap 5 mark here today. Lap 3, lap 4, the quick time for everyone inside the top 6. Stephen Miller was all the way back on lap 2, which was his best, and he realized that as well, pulled in 2 laps ago.
Yeah, again, they have about 8-9 laps in the qualifying session, but it's really lap 6. I think the faster lap times in some of the classes as well. Lap 4, we're seeing it here as well, a lot of Caden McQueen. So, again, at the end of the session, we're not going to see much improvement. It's really just being on top of it from the middle of that session. Lap 4, we talked about money. Lap 5, 6 as well is really when those MG tires come to life and are in their perfect window, if you will. Here it's just falling out of it for these drivers. But we'll see if anybody can do something different, right? If you burned a lap here and there, like we saw with Eli Warren, we'll see what he can do here last time around with just 4 seconds to go. Time's going to run out this time by.
Movement from Eli down the inside of Forrest Adams here at the end of the lap, trying to continue with what he can. I don't think it'll be a better lap than Eli's 49.357, but to Warren's credit, he did go quicker on lap 9. McQueen obviously realizing nothing more for him on this session. He's bailed into the scale line. To finish it out, Eli Warren, that lap with the pass, just not quite enough to go better. It'll be a 49.7. And as we close the chapter here on Group A for KA Senior, or Group B for KA Senior Qualifying, the first of the 2, Caden McQueen sets the pace. 49.253. Piatek 300ths back, a full 10th back to Forrest Adams, and then it gets closer to a matter of hundredths and thousandths for Eli Warren and Peyton Phillips, your current top 5 in the order. But that's with still the faster half from final practice to roll. Paulie Massimino and the BJR duo of himself and James Overbeck have been on a hot streak as of late, and the newly crowned U.S. Pro Kart Series champion is gearing up to go here from the grid.
Again, home track here for Paulie Massimino, where he has his coaching, his camp here as well. He had a camp with a couple of the junior drivers not too long ago, getting them up to speed here as well. And the return of Chase Gassie at Lee on the national scene as well. We missed him last couple races. He's back here this weekend running double duty. Keep an eye on Chase as well throughout the weekend. Caleb Gaffera for the Hoach Driver Development Team. Home track for him. We heard from Cameron Weinberg when he was out there for Pro X30. Let's see what Caleb G can do. He's a regular up at the front as well. And for Jared Clark, we saw his first national win come at Charlotte Motor Speedway just a couple of miles down the road. He makes his return here this weekend at Trackhouse Motorplex. Second half of our KA seniors rolling out onto the racetrack now. Chase Gassiet Lee gonna lead them out. Looks like Colin Lloyd had a little bit of a slower start. And again, a couple of drivers got around him, but able to get going for the kid out of Miami, Florida. Again, same for Chase Gassiet Lee working his way through there. And you see the separation in between himself, Caleb Gaffera, Edgar Rodriguez, his first weekend in the senior ranks. We'll keep an eye out for him. For Luke Welcome as well, got his first heat race victory at this very track. We're seeing him make his return to the national scene with the Rocket Racing Company on the Kart Republic this weekend. ADT, again, he comes back to KA Senior Racing action. I believe the last we saw of him in KA Senior was back in 2024 last year at the start of the year, whenever he won the SCUSA Winter Series out there at his home track of AMR Motorplex. So great to see ADT back here, and again, we're seeing him do double duty this weekend in KA and in the Pro X30 side of things with the Rocket Racing Company. So we'll keep an eye on these drivers as they start to work their way around here, Xander.
Much tighter group in Group 2, and while the front two have gotten away, that can always be a bit of a detriment. We've talked about trying to find someone to run with or a pack to run with or run up to. If that pack is too big, they're going to be naturally passing and racing quite a bit on their own. But for the moment, it's one big line, and Chase Gassiet Lee's trying to find a gap to join it. He'll drop back to fourth in the tow. And it'll be Blake Nash setting that first lap around at the top. Jared Clark's up in the mix here in the fan vote standings. We'll keep tabs on it as they roll. For now, he's second and might be able to race his way in. Austin Garrison, third. Contact right there, right side of the screen, into the wall.
Oh, Mick Gabriel into the wall there. I'm not sure if it was Blake Nash or another driver that he got collected with, but that is huge contact for Mick Gabriel into the wall in turn number 4.
Big time moment there for quick Mick Gabriel. So, oof, that'll be a hole to dig yourself out of. The good part is with the heat split, it's half the go-karts to pass to get to the front because it matters twice as much, but that's going to basically all but seal him to start from the rear. He might be able to get back going and put some kind of a lap in with a lengthy session if the kart isn't too damaged, and I'd have to think it's got at least some combination of battle scars. Caleb Gaffera, realizing that, whether he saw the moment or not, has gone fully out of the way, dropped to the back of the field, and up at the front, it's going to tighten up here real fast in maybe 3 corners. Vidmontien and Overbeck here in frame, and then look back at everyone else, and this is going to start to get a bit sketchy here, folks. Colin Lloyd even defending down in turn 8, trying to not go any further back, and they're all going to get well out of shape and lose a lot of time. Caleb Gaffera's move is starting to look really, really smart right now, Caleb.
Yeah, he pulled out a line there on the front straightaway. I believe he was looking for Paulie Massimino, who was at the back of the pack. Paulie, the last one to go out, he pushes his kart. Well, he was actually one of the first ones to go out, but it looks like he just let everybody by on that first lap, found a teammate of what looks to be Chris Harrower there with him in the, Mateo Rubio Luengo there with him as well. So Paulie just went out of the back. Caleb Gaffera wanted to go out, again, just be right behind him, and I think he might have waited up just a little bit too long because he is not in frame anymore. So we'll see if we can get an eye on Gaffera here as this session goes on. But that being said, Paulie, top of the timing charts of 49.051. And here's a replay as to what happened. Blake Nash looking for a move into turn 4. Went up on the curb into the side of Mick Gabriel, and Gabriel into the wall there. Yeah, just very close, right, for those two. And yeah, I just don't think Mick Gabriel saw Nash there in turn 4, Xander.
I don't think so either. I think that corner, as the track is as fast as it is right now, is a barely, breathe of the brake pedal. And so it's tough enough to make a move there with the draft. But when they're all getting the benefit of the tow, there's no extra kind of momentum to get yourself alongside. You're having to really send it deep and hope the driver sees you. And like you said, he just may not have. Compared to, say, turn 8 right there, the biggest braking zone on the circuit, a lot easier to make moves and a bit easier to get caught out with a crossover or with drivers in front of you going side by side, getting pushed to the outside as well. Like we saw there with Frankie Mossman. Austin Garrison's done with it all. He's just going to lead this group and try to get away from it. And let's see if it pays off. Paulie Massimino, by the way, fastest now. ZCD second. How about Cash Perkins third, Connor Ferris fourth, and Alessandro DiTullio fifth. None of them in frame at the front of the group right now. They're a little ways back here from all of the madness. You see DeMello's in the middle of the second pack, so he'll be a little bit trapped to try and go better. Garrison right now, 8th, 2/10 to find.
And again, none of them have been able to improve after lap 3 outside of Caleb Gafera, who's down in 12th at the moment on the timing charts. But again, I'm not exactly sure if we're going to see too much improvement out of these drivers, right? Lap 6, 7, and 8 that are coming up, especially with all the passing that we're seeing up front. Cash Perkins, hand in the air. He's going to dive into the pits early as everybody else goes around. Garrison, 8th at the moment, and he didn't go any better that time. Was about a second slower, just over that. So we'll see what Austin Garrison can do here last time, and I'm sure for a driver, right, that's doing KA Senior this weekend, he's just looking to get himself into the shootout, right, with the big opportunity for him to get a good payday coming out of this weekend.
Enzo Vidmontien now. Colin Lloyd, James Overbeck in the middle of the 3. Let's look at some of the drivers in the middle of that group. Luke Welcome now going to go backwards. Frankie Mossman going by. DiTullio there. Let's check in with this further back pack here. How about some of the fast names coming out of it? Paulie's in it. Ferris is in it. In the middle of the two of them in the white suit, that's Anthony Rivera. Now, he hasn't put in a good lap to go to the top 10 yet. He's on the outside in 15th right now. That said, just about everyone in this group is on the cusp of going faster than Caden McQueen. McQueen right now is actually holding pretty strong. Borderline top 10, I think, with a 49.2 for himself. An 0.51 for Massimino and DeMello an 0.55. This is exactly what the Velocity Racing Camp was hoping would happen. Their driver in the second group, the fast group, gets a good lap in, and the rest of the drivers in the fast group mess around and leave the door open for Caden McQueen's lap in the first session to hold up pretty nice.
Yeah, I do want to take a quick look back up to that front group specifically. So it would have been Enzo Vidmontien. That sprocket guard for Vidmontien is loose. That front bolt came loose, and it's just kind of up in the air. It was just 2 laps ago as Colin Lloyd dives into the pits, but that was some damage out of Enzo Vidmontien. You'll see it kind of flap a little bit there as well, just on the left-hand side of his kart. That front bolt on that sprocket guard is loose for Enzo Vidmontien. Not sure if that's affecting him too much here, but it's only 16th best for Enzo, and that could also be just part of the fact that we've been racing, I think, more than just setting in laps here in this qualifying session. And again, last lap, 3 seconds to go left in this qualifying. Now, I'm not sure if anybody's going to be able to improve here, Xander.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be tough here at the end. And again, everyone is factoring in that not only does this set you for heats 1 and 2, but you're trying to be in the top 10 for the classification on the day. That's 50% of qualifying, 50% of the heats. And if you're not in those top 10 seeding, you're hoping to get in off the promoters' grace with the 2 promoters' picks or the fan vote. That's still running on Facebook. Make sure to vote your favorite driver in. We had the update there at the bottom and the update at the line for any other changes on the last lap. Nothing. Everyone quick on lap 5 or earlier. And Paulie Massimino will start on the pole for the heats today, and that'll be a nice point score to try to transfer into the Apex Apparel Shootout for another run at the money and the trophy tonight. The BJR driver over DeMello by 4 thousandths, over Cash Perkins by 0.5 tenth, couple hundredths to Connor Ferris, DiTullio, Blake Nash, Jared Clark 7th, Austin Garrison, Edgar Rodriguez, a very impressive qualifying effort. One of his first ever senior starts in 9th. And Brandon Lemke, U.S. Pro Kart Series Vice Champion, rounds your top 10.
I've got Paulie down here. Paulie, flyer lap out of you. Do you feel like that was all you had out there today?
No, not really. I felt like that lap was pretty good. Honestly, didn't think it was pole. My next lap was actually a little bit better, and coming out of the hairpin, I tried to get back on the gas a little bit too soon and drove right off the track. So a little mistake on my part. Luckily, we were still able to have a pretty good lap to get us on pole, so that feels good. We knew we were kind of quick yesterday on the normal layout. The shootout is what we're going to focus on.
And aside from your own minor incident, how did you avoid that chaos?
Yeah, as soon as I went out, I knew it was a 8-minute session, so I kind of just went out. As soon as I went out, I pulled over. I've been going out by myself on the normal layout mostly every session, and I knew my pace was pretty decent. So even if I didn't get pole, I knew we'd be somewhere in the top 10. So I'd rather, just ride around myself and, keep my nose clean and not crash in qualifying.
Thank you, Paulie.
Thank you.
So K Sr. wrapped up still with 3 classes to qualify. Mini Swift on deck with X30 Jr and X30 Pro. And we'll bring it all to you live from Mooresville, North Carolina on the other side of this break.
Hey guys, it's Lucas Nogueira here. And today we're going to talk about some cool features that Race Studio 3 has that people normally don't know about it. And the first thing is how to check the weather between 2 sessions on Race Studio 3, okay? So here, I got a comparison with Orlando on the Rotax. And if you look on the bottom left, I have the weather showing my ambient temperature, pressure, humidity, and even the wind direction and wind speed. And then I have this from 1 week of the Rotax Winter Trophy, and then the second week was a bit hotter. So we kind of know how the carburation will change when the weather changes. And to be able to get this, all you gotta do is when you are on Race Studio 3, you come up here and you're logging into your account. You gotta create an account on the AIM website and just log in. If you log in and have internet on, it will pull the weather from the previous year of sessions that you have. All right, so we got a second nice feature that a lot of people don't know about, which is the track map coming from Google on the background. So if you just connect your computer to the internet, you can come up here and click on this Google Earth icon, and it will pull the background from the Google Earth into your GPS data. So normally it's very well aligned, and you can see if the driver is hitting the apex, changing his line. But if it's not aligned, you can change which server you are using. So right here we are in Quaker City. It's a brand new track. If I change from Google to Bing, you'll see that I don't even have a track there because it's a brand new track and Bing hasn't updated. So if yours is not aligned, all you gotta do is change to a different server here. I've been using Google so far and it works pretty well.
You know, I'm really starting to like this go-karting thing.
Yeah, me too. Oh my gosh, can I show you this cute dress I just got?
Yes, of course. Oh my goodness, it's so cute.
I just love shopping.
I love shopping too.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, did you guys say you like shopping?
Of course.
Well, dude, I have the perfect place to do that at. ShopPayCara.com. At ShopPayCara.com, you can get free shipping on orders $200 or more. You can get anything you want, like MXC rims, gloves, rib vests, shoes, anything that you need, all at ShopPayCara.com.
Who is he talking to?
No idea.
But we're gonna have to check it out. Sounds like a great deal.
Sure does.
Back in action, full group on circuit for Mini Swift qualifying. Another driver debuting with Velocity Racing for the very first time, at least with us. He had a one-off with them earlier this year, but now at the IAME USA Grand National Championship, Santiago Orioli exchanges the red and white MPG colors and OKP official livery to the black and orange Sodi Kart. And right behind him, last year, a big-time run for Holden Myers here in North Carolina, and the two of them were hoping to work together. They're signaling and communicating there down the backstretch, and I think hopefully that solved it because they got no one else to play with right now. Big gap out back to the rest of the field as they were all taking their time on the outlap to get underway. These two were some of the only drivers that wanted to get on the gas right out of the grid. Holden Myers, I mentioned, again, a great run last year in North Carolina altogether. Let's take a look back at this specific event. This kid was incredible. take a look at Holden's moment here in just a bit in quali. Luckily, a good bit of time in the 8-minute session. And for him and Santiago Orioli, that means they've got plenty of chances to try either formation, the two of them in order as they are, or Santi back in front. And, well, they might even have a third variable to throw in the mix. One of the best qualifiers over the summer stretch in 2025, former Super Nationals winner in Micro Swift, Maxwell Macha, lurking in on the Paralympic 174. He's broken away from the group behind of about 4 of them. That's got the 100 of Zane Burgess, debut with Paralympic USA, Liam Nachawati, most recent U.S. race winner, Colton Schniegenberg there on the Ryan Perry Motorsport Nitro, and teammate to Colton, Jaden Francisco, the most consistent mini Swift driver over the last 11 major U.S. race weekends. Had a podium streak that, from every bit of our research, has been unprecedented. 10 consecutive races on the podium, and it concluded, of course, with a barn burner finale in Newcastle where Micro and Mini Swift were down to the wire in the championship runs. But this weekend, no points on the board, all about gunning for the race win. Let's take another look at that from last year with Holden Myers standing on the top step.
Another first-time national winner in Holden Myers with Alex.
Holden, I mean, you didn't fail to let me know afterwards. This is your first ever mini win ever, and you did it at the IAME Grand Nationals. How great does this feel?
I mean, it feels amazing, just struggling pretty much all weekend until we finally got the kart set and just went for it.
How did you make it happen in that feature race? It was pretty chaotic throughout.
Just, I don't know, just kind of pull away from the people behind me, catch them, pass them, and go.
One more thing here, Holden. Who would you like to thank for this incredible Grand National title?
I'd like to thank my dad, my mom, my brothers, my sister, Timmy Tech, Vulture Engines, and that's it.
Thank you, Holden. Congratulations.
Thanks.
And back to it here with this year's edition. Holden, the defending race winner, down in 6th. They've all now re-racked themselves. It's Maxwell Macha at the front of the group. Myers back to 3rd. Zane Burgess at least trying to make it that way, and they're going to rip side pods apart here if they're not careful, and it's going to be a nose cone into the air for Holden Myers as he pops the curbing in turns 5 and 6. And I don't know why either one was fighting as hard as they were. There was plenty of time left in the session to sort out where they wanted to be, and Holden Myers now may not get another chance to improve on his lap time that's already now been pushed to 7th.
Yeah, and that front fairing, we saw it come up in the air. I think it might be okay here for Holden Myers to try and set up a lap in the closing stages of it, but nonetheless, it's close for him. Everybody else, Marcelo Flores, the first driver he could maybe get to with just 2 minutes to go, but you were talking about consistency for Jaden Francisco. Consistently up front, consistently at top of the timing charts here. And again, he's doing that again this week in a 52.574 for Francisco over Nachawati, Macha, Burgess, Schniegenberg. That's your top 5 to Wolf to Myers. But again, just a little too close for comfort there for Holden Myers as Burgess all the way to the low side there, Xander.
Zane Burgess wanting to obviously set himself up to be 2nd in the train and try to run up to Santiago Orioli, but he's not going to, unfortunately, win that decision over Colton Schniegenberg for now. Minute 40 to go. See Nachawati now dropping behind Jaden Francisco. Here's another look on the right-hand side of your screen. Door to door, Zane trying to clear himself, Holden not wanting to let him fully by, and then right as they got to the corner, as they both were kind of shaking the hands, trying to both disconnect from each other and then at the same point get into line. And look at the airtime for Nachawati and Orioli as well, having to jump the outside curbing going into 6.
Yeah, just very close there, right? Going 3 wide and into turn number 5 there. Just not enough room for the 3 of them, right, to make it through. But a couple of moves further back, Francisco goes by on Marcelo Flores. Nachawati looked to go as well. As we're getting close to the end here. The money laps for these drivers, laps 3, laps 4. That was the biggest time that we saw out of Francisco. And again, having to make moves. We'll see what he can do this final time around for everybody in this front group. We'll see if anybody can make some improvements as it goes through. Nothing inside of the top 5 here. Xander Nachawati stayed the same. Same for Mancha, Burgess, Schniegenberg, Francisco, as well as Orioli stuck on the outside there as everybody works their way through. And again, that's going to end Orioli's lap for sure there.
So with Orioli now not being able to jump back up, he'll be maybe at best 8th. Let's see if anyone beyond this group goes any better. You can see there's kind of another pack further away that might be able to put something. Oh, Marcelo Flores is now going to get tripped up as Schniegenberg tries to bail into line just in front of the Haynes Motorsports TB kart. Orioli now to the inside of Nachawati. At this point, you're kind of playing spoiler to the drivers around you, hoping that you pass them on their fast lap. It's essentially a legal way of impeding, right? You're not brake checking, but you are making a move, and it makes them go offline, have to get off the power, and we're going to see that play out here with pretty much no movement through the whole field. All of them quicker on lap 3 or lap 4 than what that lap time was that time around. So Jaden Francisco keeps the consistency narrative alive, a 52.57. The only driver in your top 10 to improve was just across the line there, Holden Meyer's teammate, Cade Wolf, a 52.83. That'll put him to 5th, but that'll do it for Mini Swift. Jaden Francisco and Nitro Kart over Liam Nachawati, a pair of Paralens and Maxwell Macha and Zane Burgess, Cade Wolf 5th, Colton Schniegenberg, Holden Myers, Santi Orioli, Paxton Romero, and Isaac Carvalho, your top 10 from their one and only group. So the overall standings here that'll lead them back out onto the circuit after the dinner break tonight for heat number 1. Back to Kai Park in the 182. 24 Mini Swifts and just about the same number for X30 Jr here this weekend. Pushing up to 30, 30 Plus, and X30 Pro. Those are our 2 classes that are left to roll here for the free coverage portion of the afternoon. If you are not yet a KCP member, you can be with the join button down below on the feed for $9.99 a month to sign up and get to watch the heats and the mains and the super heat this weekend. But luckily for those of you that may just be tuning in and checking things out, it'll be free to view for the Fast 5 shootouts tonight and tomorrow as well, which will feature the X30 Juniors and the Mini Swifts, and the Apex Apparel KA shootout, the MG Tires X30 shootout as well, also free to view. I hear there's some other sport that's kind of getting underway this weekend, Caleb, but we're going to go head-to-head with them and see if we can't put on a heck of a show under the lights here at Trackhouse.
Never heard of any other sport outside of racing, so this is the real deal here. IAME Grand National Championships, right? You don't see, about 20 grand or plus, I believe 70 grand in money this weekend, so you don't see much of that anywhere else here, and we have it all here live for you at Trackhouse Motorplex. This is huge for us, and again, huge for everybody that is a part of it. X30 Jr out on the track now. Isaac Malquid, Ashton Woon leading this field away, the front 2. And again, that's really good for the 2 of them, right, to get out in clean air, open air, try and set in some laps behind them. Looks like Lucas Palacio with what looked to be Tristan Murphy there, Max Weiland just in between Golseth and Pettit on track to Parker Ives, hometown kid, Juther Malaswamy, and more here in this X30 Junior field that, again, continues to grow year after year. And just you see a lot of these drivers, right, when they move up to the senior class, come out ready to fire, and again, always factors when they do definitely make that jump up to the senior ranks. So here we go, Pettit, a little bit of adjustment there on the carburation, it looked like. Looking to go just a little bit faster here.
Travis Pettit didn't get exactly what he would have probably hoped for in KA Junior Qualifying. Outside the top 5 there right now, outside a bit, but maybe a little adjustment for him can get him there on the second try. And it's the same story for many others from that session, including our top qualifier from it, Max Weiland. He sits second right now. This is a look into the exit at turn 8 following Nathan Golseth, and here is teammate Tristan Murphy. The 2 of them are 6th and 3rd as of last time by. Let's look at these 2 though. Lucas Palacio, fastest initially, now behind Isaac Malcuit. Will Malcuit go up? He will not on that lap. He sits 5th. It'll be Murphy improving, and Parker Ives with a big lap on his 3rd time around. He'll go to 2nd with the help of a legendary karting mentor, driver, champion, chassis brand owner, Terry Fullerton here this weekend. And he was a huge part of the program that Rich Gutierrez led for many seasons here with the Fullerton chassis in the U.S. And I know the Ives family are happy to welcome him, and the knowledge, the expertise of that absolute legend of our sport, to have him here on site for a totally upside down event, if you will. The IAME Grand National Championship, we consider it very similar to the All-Star Weekend that you'll see in many other professional sports and in NASCAR as well, with a ton of obstacles thrown at the drivers, differing track layouts, night racing, day racing, and of course shootouts, and a whole lot of prizes and purse money up for grabs, all in a one-off. It makes the entertainment factor go up for us, and it puts the drivers a bit in a box where they gotta find a new way to accomplish the task of winning. Starts with qualifying here, though, for the heats, the regular format of one main weekend, similar to that of what we'll see. Again, Heat 1 on this layout today, set by qualifying here. Tomorrow, alternate layout, still set by this qualifying session for Heat 2, and then they'll get re-racked off the results for the Super Heat. So a good quali effort here. It'll set your tone for the next 3 days. Lucas Palacio trailing Mount Hewitt right now, still holding strong on his 5th lap now. It actually improved a bit, 47.90. And he's now joined by a closer delta out back physically with Murphy there having a look into turn number 4, and with the times. Max Weiland, Ashton Woon now into the top 5. Murphy to then Antonino, only a 2/10 spread.
And I think we got a couple of warnings here for Tristan Murphy, for John Antonino as well, out there on the track as Palacio moves to the wayside, letting other drivers go through. But again, one of the things to note here as well, right, those warnings, under investigation essentially for those drivers, right, just to clean it up a little bit on the racetrack there throughout this qualifying session. So that being said, they're in some open room now. Next couple laps coming in. Nobody really improving there. A 48.3 for Weiland, 49 for Woon, for Murphy, as well as John Antonino. Again, these drivers are going to have their Fast 5 shootout tomorrow night before the Pro X30 shootout. So that being said, something to look out for here for these drivers in this class. Finishing the top 5 as well in heat race number 1 and 2 tomorrow. So that being said, again, this one continuing to go forward. Nobody else really making much impressions. Nathan Golseth, Parker Ives, 6th and 7th. Tajuther Malaswamy, Isaac Malcuit, 9th. Dropping in Bashi Jimenez on his return here this weekend, only inside of the top 10. Rookie as well in this class, Enzo Di Gennaro, only 13th to start things off as he gets acquainted with the junior ranks, as well as the X30 junior package this weekend. More moves, but like we said, Sander, we haven't seen an improvement on lap 7 outside of Bashi Jimenez. He was able to get into the top 10. But that being said, again, 4, 5, 6, those are the laps where we see that the times really start to come in.
That's what makes it a bit surprising to see Lucas Palacio still out there running. This lap here really getting hurt by Max Weiland, who drops back just in front of him at turn number 8. But young Lucas, the Williams F1 Academy sign driver and Kart Republic official driver as well, still holding on that 5th lap. That lap was good enough, and maybe he was tracking for a little more on lap number 8. It won't be obviously evident there with the traffic that he caught. And further down, nothing else really kind of standing out. I mean, a few minor moments. Nathan Golseth goes a little better on the 8th lap. He'll go to a 48 flat. Same with Bashi Jimenez, 48.13. Like you said, though, the majority hitting their peak at lap 3 or lap 4. Minute to go now. They're spread apart pretty nice. Golseth to the inside of Murphy here in 8. That's one of the only passes probably in this entire circuit this lap around with how spaced out everyone's gotten. And as they rocket up the hill, they'll basically get one more try to knock off the 7.25 from the pole. Let's see it. To the inside, bailing out is Isaac Malcuit. That'll hurt him because this will hurt this lap. If they can get back around in time, he'd get another try, but I think he's going to run out of laps on it. So at this point, you can write the Mike Doty Racing LN card off. At best, for Ike, it'd be 10th, 3.5 tenths off the pace of Palacio.
Yeah, not good there in the end for Isaac Malkiewicz to set on a better lap time. It's only going to be 10th, as it looks like for Ike. Everybody else works their way around. Palacio, and again, that lap he set on lap number 5 hasn't even been close to it really since. A 47.909 for Palacio. Checkered flag going to be out, but we'll wait and see if anybody can improve. Weiland's going to bail into the pits. He's done with his qualifying session. Can anybody else get something more? And no, Lucas Palacio going to be on the pole position here, Xander.
Yeah, all down the line. It looked like everyone was close to their best. Nobody able to best their best, though. Lucas Palacio, X30 Jr top qualifier in the 725. Max Weiland, half a tenth back, 2/10 for the top 6 to Antonino, as Goldseth was able to split him up right along with his teammate Tristan Murphy there. Bashi Jimenez, Parker Ives 8th, Jude Thermalaswamy 9th. Malkiewicz will hold for 10th over Royce Vega, Jackson Gibson, Enzo De Janeiro, Edward Kennedy, Nico Katowski, your top 15 of the 24 X30 Juniors to Maddox Ruiz. We'll take a quick break. X30 Pro, our last qualifying session, the last bit of the free coverage for the moment. Coming up next.
Ideal. Sure does.
Let's go race.
Come on, man.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing? Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night. Come on, man. Do you have anything I can drink? Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative. Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and 0 sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
First lap's underway for X30 Pro Qualifying. Let's get dialed in here with our boots on the ground gal. Haley Donaldson, what do you have for us as we let the big boys and girls loose?
Yeah, on track you're going to see Hayden Jones, a driver who is fresh out of college this weekend. He's returned back to his home track to be with us. He is running off of absolutely no practice. He showed up this morning for warm-up, got in a couple laps, but this is just about his first time on the track this weekend.
How about that for the driver that was oh so close to winning out on the U.S. Pro Kart Series round at this circuit and had an outside shot at the championship top 2 positions going into the finale, missing out the entire round. This busy year, the busy summer that saw him move up to Milwaukee, now back home for the fall weekend here, Labor Day weekend at IAME Grand Nationals, and then heading back off to college for the fall semester. Hayden Jones will have an uphill battle more so tomorrow than today. He's always fast here, and it's a layout tomorrow that he has been on in the past, but not nearly as much as the standard configuration. So that's a help for sure, and it helps as well. He had some teammates on the circuit yesterday, most notably Gus Lawrence, who sits 3rd here in the opening couple of laps. Caleb Gaffera on screen. We saw him already, as well as KA Senior top qualifier Paulie Massimino, Chase Gassiet-Lee, and then right behind him, Blake Nash. Let's see where they go on this lap by. Any big moves? Yes, it's further back. Gus to the top for a split second, and Alessandro DiTullio even better on the Rocket Racing Company LN Kart a little further ways away. Those two 46.9s apiece. Only two drivers down out of the 47 second bracket.
Yeah, that was a good lap there out of ADT to go to the top, and again, he's been feeling under the weather so far this weekend. He has allergies, and again, just got to North Carolina this weekend, and that kind of flared up for him, so he's not feeling the best, but again, out there on the track, it's looking pretty good for ADT. Goes to the top. Gus Lawrence just right behind him, to Mossman, to Gassiet-Lee, to Dalton Haynes, who sits P5. Paulie down in 6th. McQueen and a couple of more work their way through that time by. Couple of changes. Haynes up to 3rd, McQueen into the top 5. And this is the best that we've seen Caden McQueen so far, I would say, Xander, since really the preseason this year, right? In the regular season, and again, this is a one-off race, but this is the best that SOTY has looked for Caden McQueen in 2025.
Indeed. Caden McQueen, they finally got a really solid test weekend. He felt good about it. He still is, I think, adamant that they want to keep finding more speed and getting to an even better comfort level, but it feels like it's a level up from where they were earlier on in the season. And right now, qualifying is showing the fruits of that as he closes up to Blake Nash. This lap might even be better than the last. Lawrence is going to hit traffic soon enough, trailing off the back of Dalton Haynes. That time by, McQueen did not go better. He kept it close. It was only DiTullio, actually, to go better on lap 6 of anyone inside the top couple spots. You have to go back to Austin Garrison to find your next improvement, and he realized that was as best as he was going to do. He's already, I believe, pulled into the pit lane on just 5 laps turned. 47.127, he'll live with that one, and it right now has him down the board in 8th. Gaffera's going to bail to the inside on the hairpin. I don't think he'll have enough time to cool the tires back off and then turn them back on again. So the question now becomes, amongst your top 7 that are still running, no, now 6, Gassiet-Lee in. Can anyone else dethrone Alessandro DiTullio, or will he get his 2nd pole award in just as many starts? What a month of August this has been for ADT and Rocket Racing Company. In fact, he'll even improve on it. The gap the previous lap, it's moved to a 10.5. That's huge over the rest of the field.
Yeah, that Rocket Racing Company machine has been very good, and again, his return really to karting period has been really good. If you look back at 2 weeks ago, I should say, when we were at the United States Pro Kart Series season finale, right, found himself up at the front, and again, just a mistake on his behalf, put him out of contention, but here this weekend, looking to come away with a good result for the team. Just a simple 10x20 pop-up tent for them on the side of their trailer. Nothing big, nothing fancy, and again, just wanting to be at the top step of the podium here at the end of the weekend. More drivers pull into the pits, like Blake Nash worked his way in, as well as a couple of more. ADT choosing to stay out. And again, no improvements outside of really Austin Garrison, who only did 5 laps here. He's into the pits as well, 8th for the 329 of AG. But outside of that, again, just last couple laps, not much improvement that we're going to see out of these drivers.
Gus Lawrence is pulled in as well this previous lap around, so the 318 will sit at best in 2nd. You see McQueen now starting to slow. I think he's headed for the pit lane, and judging off the hand movement from DiTullio, I think he may do the same. Let's watch it to the scales for the 320, the 342, the 348. In fact, most of the field looks like they're going to call it at this point in the session. And you talk about fighting uphill here for Hayden Jones. How far back is he? 16th, only 0.4 off the pace of the pole, and only 2.5 off the pace of 2nd. That just shows you how close it is here at the moment. But it's not close for 1 from 1st to 2nd. A 10.5. Alessandro DiTullio, fastest so far in X30 Pro qualifying. The majority of the pack into the pit lane. We're following Levi Sangera, Daniel Perez. The final few still closing the session out. Gus Lawrence sits 2nd, Dalton Haynes 3rd, Frankie Mossman 4th, Caden McQueen 5th, Massimino, Gassiet-Lee, Garrison, Blake Nash in 9th, and a solid and respectable qualifying effort for Finnegan Bailiff on the TKG Bureau Art in 10th. and it looks like even the last couple that waited to do one more will pull to the pit lane. So it'll conclude qualifying and send us into the break here. Alessandro Di Tullio, your top qualifier in X30 Pro for the IAME USA Grand National Championship. And as we can see, he's made it off the circuit, gear off, and he's standing by here with Haley.
Ali, you're 2 for 2 on poles on your starts during your return. How are you feeling about all this success?
Yeah, really good. I mean, I can't thank the team enough. They're working so hard. We were really fast at Newcastle, and yeah, unfortunate incident there ended our good result, but we're back on pole here in X30 Pro. So yeah, I want to thank Rocket, Paul, Tayel, Kurt, Alan, and AVP for the power, and yeah, let's keep working and finish off strong.
It was a 5th in KA and it's pole this time. What do you think is the reason that you've gone so much faster?
I mean, I think thanks to my mechanic, Tayel, I made a few changes this morning myself, like my own decision for the morning warm-up, and it wasn't really the right way. So we just analyzed. I think we're still not quite as strong with K as we were yesterday, so some work to do there. But yeah, my mechanic helped me a lot here for the quali because we weren't really strong in the warm-up. So we changed everything around, went the other direction, and was much better.
Thank you, Ali.
Thank you.
Qualifying in the books for the IAME USA Grand National Championship in 2025. It's time to go racing. We'll switch over to members only and also give the hardworking truck staff and our awesome production team and camera ops an opportunity to get something to eat. A break in the action brings us back with Heat 1 for Micro Swift at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Pacific. We'll see you then when we go racing.